Stations. It's time for Sportstime on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brent Stats Norsworthy.
Welcome on a scorching hot Wednesday. So good to have you with us. Wolo, Stats, Brian Dacus, working all the dials. All I can say is this. I got out of my car when I arrived at the Flynn Broadcasting Center. And so my carport at home is shaded. I go from a cool house because, like, my wife, it's down to 66 or 68. She's just like, she wants a Frigidaire for a house. And, you go along with it. I walk into my car. I'm great. As soon as I get in my car, boom, I put on the air conditioning. It's automatic. It comes on. Very comfortable on the way here. Watching people sweat, but, I'm not thinking about it. I'm in my nice, cool car. Arrive at the Flynn Broadcasting Center, turn off the car. I was actually talking to my son, so I waited a few minutes. It was starting to get a little warm. Walk out to go into this beautiful broadcasting center and just took 3 steps. And, how that humidity and that heat can just hit you. It's like slapping you in the face. Like you are taken aback. There's a step of hesitation. And that's what happened. And I just thought to myself, I'm going to tell everybody, drink, get hydrated, especially older people, because I just read this story that as we get older, our bodies don't have the same quench for thirst. So you kind of have to force yourself to keep drinking because you still could get dehydrated. So that's my preaching for the day. Drink. Be merry. Drink water or electrolytes, Gatorade, Powerade, whatever it may be. And be merry because, Brett, you're just in the comfort of your home. You don't take 2 steps out of your house anymore. Everything is set up perfectly for you. It's hot out there. I'm just telling you.
Dave, I have walked 4.1 miles today.
I am so impressed. You walked 4.1 in this heat? You did it 5 in the morning, didn't you?
About 2 miles of it about 6:45, about a mile of it around 11, and about a mile of it about an hour ago.
Oh, so you're breaking it up.
Oh, yeah.
So the one an hour ago, let's go there. How hard was that one?
It's 91 degrees on July 28th.
97 degrees it is reading in the Flynn Broadcasting Center, just so you know. 97 degrees here today.
Now, is that temperature or the goofy heat index?
No.
Feel like.
That is temp. Feels like we're in the hundreds, baby. We're in
Might feel different for someone else.
Well, I'm going to go with what they say it feels like.
I'm not.
Whoever they
because I hardly trust them on anything, whoever they are.
Okay. Should I trust you that it doesn't feel that way, or should I not trust anybody either?
I think. How'd you get to 68 years old?
Somehow, I don't know. I'm still wondering.
That's right.
I kind of meander.
You've been able to manage, and most people, and especially people that work outside, they know how to protect themselves.
Good. I'm just saying, drink. That's all. Drink, hydrate, because it really does seem hot today. One of the hotter days. We got a hot show for you, that is for sure. Always fun to talk with TJ Reeves, and we'll talk some golf. We'll talk some NFL with him. Then John Gowen's going to be here, and I'm looking forward to making these picks on the Olympic Games. I've done a little bit of homework. For instance, did you know, seriously,
a potential $8 million week out there for somebody?
Oh, I need it.
If your Shock won the gold medal, well, that would be $6 million. We're playing for $3 million, but if your Shock wins, it's double. And then if you won the gold medal with your Shock and the silver medal with your lock, that's $8 million.
I like that. I really do like that. Now,
3-2-1 for gold, silver, and bronze.
I have to ask you this: if Roy Sabatini's been around for a long time. He's played, He's played in the Memphis tournament, not in the WGC, but he played in the FES.
He's played everywhere.
FESGC.
Great tournament. Remember, he had the celebrated moment at the Kemper
Is that when
it was at Congressional, when he just kind of bumped right in front of Ben Crane and moved on.
He walked away from Ben Crane. That's what he is most famous for. So
Ben Crane and our buddy Jason Day, they played at a very slow pace.
Well, they called it Glenn. What did they call him? Glenn All Day. Yeah, Glenn All Day. If I said to you, and I didn't, because I know Rory Sabatini, and I think I know a little bit about golf, even though you can't tell from my picks this year. If I said to you, where is Rory Sabatini from, what would you tell me?
I would guess South Africa.
I would have said the same thing. Slovakia. He's
played from South Africa forever.
Is that right? Well, he's playing on the Slovakian golf team.
Olympic team?
On the Olympic golf team. Abraham Answer.
And that happens. You know, our friend Sean Toohey tells the story that he deeply regrets. I think he had a chance. He had been a freshman at Ole Miss and had a chance to play for the Team Ireland in the 76 Olympics in Montreal and passed on it. Yeah.
I didn't remember him having a chance. The guy was from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Right.
For goodness sake.
Rory Sabatini's from
You think he's from South
California.
Africa?
But
Okay. Well, he's playing for Slovakia.
You know, it's the standard joke of when the European team wins the Ryder Cup, you know where the victory party is?
Florida.
It's at the Breakers at Palm Beach.
Exactly.
That's where they all live.
That's exactly right. Did you know Abraham Answer? Because I think he went to the University of Tennessee, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I thought he went to Texas, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's a UT. He's playing from Mexico. I had no idea he was any connection to Mexican. And then the other interesting story, not that I'm going to pick him, but this would be a great story because it would really be a shock. You ever hear of Mito Pereira?
I have not.
He's playing for Chile. He's
Which
actually
puts us on level ground because he's never heard of me either.
That's true. He's already won either 2 or 3 Korn Ferry events, which gets him into the PGA next year.
Battlefield promotion.
Yeah. So, he's an interesting story to watch because he's apparently really hot. But we'll be making golf picks with John Goen. That will come at 4 o'clock. We'll talk the business of the Olympics with our business professor, literally a professor at Harvard and a business TV star with the NBC family of stations, Rick Horrow. And then I always love listening to Brian Geltzeiler from down in New Orleans. We'll talk NBA with him.
In New York.
I mean New York. Yeah.
That's okay.
He's all over it. We'll see what he thinks about the draft that is coming up on Thursday. Busy week. That is for certain. I ran into Laird Veach today.
Mm-hmm.
And
whose name was prominently mentioned in a Dave Matter St. Louis Post-Dispatch story on prospects for Missouri.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Including our friend Mark Allnut.
Oh, that's right. Mark Allnut was a football player for Missouri.
At Missouri, and it had our likely suspects, had John Hartwell in that story and had Ren Baker in that story and had John Sunbold in that story.
Wow. We've had that one covered. I did not
prominently mention Laird in that story.
Wow. Like as one of the lead candidates?
I think it was 10 or 11 or so, and we had Dave Matter on with us last week on the Missouri Tigers.
Well, he was taught. You think about this. Just think about what Laird Veach has been through. Laird Veach arrived in Memphis when the Tigers were going to the Cotton Bowl and had just gotten the number 1 basketball recruiting class in the country. Everything was looking good. And then in that time period, all that he's had to sort of navigate here is NIL and transfer portal,
IRP, budget,
AIRP, pandemic, now conference upheaval.
The Orlando Magic courting Penny.
Yeah, I mean, he had to hire a football coach too, because while he was here, Norvell left, and that was really his first hire was Ryan Silverfield. think about that stretch that he has gone through. That's pretty tough stuff.
And impressive how he's handled it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said today to a group of sponsors, as you know, we're starting these luncheons now as we get ready for the football season and really the all of college gearing up.
The luncheons where Dave promises 14-0.
Exactly. You got it. I did not promise 14-0. I said we'd be the first Power 5 ever to be in the playoff. I did not say undefeated. No, I didn't say that either.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it not undefeated. That's even more of a bold pick.
But when I was going through what Laird Veach has had to navigate through and what a good leader he has been, he said today to all those assembled, and there was a pretty good crew here. We did it in that new indoor, and it was a bunch of chairs out on the field itself. And Laird basically said, over the last few years, Memphis has really positioned itself well, academically and football and basketball and athletically, to survive whatever comes down through all of these dominoes falling. It was a reassuring kind of a speech, made me feel better about it all, and so I thought I would pass that along to all the Tiger fans who may be listening today, that whatever happens here, I think Memphis is in a pretty good spot.
It's in good hands.
Yeah.
It's in good hands, Dave. I trust it. I trust that leadership, and I just think there are just super days ahead. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They're at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. They're offering the golden opportunity late July into August hot summer sale. Call them at 901-362-8833. Great offers on all 2021 models and the special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, I actually have two because one is not sports. But this one, Brett Norsworthy and all of us are going to love. The Hernando de Soto I-40 bridge will reopen this coming Monday for eastbound lanes at 6 a.m.
I want to be the first person to cross it.
6 a.m. They will open.
What could go wrong?
Eastbound. Nothing.
I'm taking the new bridge all the time now because I know it's rebuttressed, and if the old bridge may have had some wear and tear on it, so I'm going new bridge all the time.
If you are the first one over, I will buy you breakfast. How's that? We'll meet at sunrise.
I would love to be.
Okay.
I would love to do it.
So that's 6 a.m. on Monday, and then the westbound
Should I put it on the TikTok?
Sure. Westbound lanes will follow on Friday, August the 6th. So a week from
So coming home from the golf tournament that Friday night, I can christen it going back across.
You can. So basically a week from Friday. That's correct. The bridge.
3.5 hours last Friday night from Flynn Broadcasting to my home.
That is just, that you had to be so frustrated. I'm glad you didn't run out of gas, for goodness sake. That's a long time.
You know, just like my phone, always on 100%, gas tank always near full.
There you go.
Just in case.
The sports story is Simone Biles, the face of the American Olympic team, and frankly, what many consider to be the greatest gymnast in the history of gymnastics, both men and women, has decided she will focus on mental health for another few days. She is out.
We wish her well.
Of the all-around competition tomorrow. There are still the single event competitions that will come up next week. She could still partake in those, but she has taken herself out here. It really is interesting, and we all try to speculate. I only wish her the best, and I wish her
if she needs space, give it to her.
Peace of mind. But she maybe should have quit after the 2016 Olympics. She was 19 at the time. Most people figure that's your prime, maybe that, 20. After that, you're old. And she has said several times that she used to do gymnastics for herself. Now she does it for others. There could be people that are her team, her support group, that were very encouraging for her to, come on, Simone, you can become the greatest of all time, and you'll pick up a lot of endorsements. You'll be set up for life. Keep going. And maybe her heart was not in it. And I'm speculating as I say this. Maybe her heart was not in it. And when your heart is not in it quite that way it could be, it should be, you are not focused. And when you are not focused, you see that you can make mistakes and you lose your confidence. And that is exactly what has happened to Simone Biles. She has lost confidence and focus, and it's a dangerous sport. If you make a mistake, and when I was a freshman in college, one of the great male gymnasts of our country, a guy named Gary Morava, I believe his name was, he was doing a mini tramp warm-up. He was an SIU gymnast and landed the wrong way and broke his neck and passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Passed
it's
away.
Very dangerous.
So it's a dangerous sport, and so
it's as dangerous as football.
Give Simone Biles all the space she needs. In retrospect, I think Simone Biles probably wishes right now she had said, what a great career. I'm going out with all the gold, and the legacy is solid. Doesn't matter if I'm around again. And
she's still a great champ.
She is. And she's
still a great champ.
And maybe she'll be able.
No asterisk, no italics, no nothing. Great champion.
No, and she's out, though. She will not be a part of the gymnastics competition tomorrow night.
My top story on draft eve, all through the house, the Grizzlies are rumored to be making moves, maybe moving even higher to select earlier in the draft. Should be a busy night tonight for the Grizzlies, and then tomorrow night in the quest to be relevant, to get real good real fast, and they can. The next 3 years or so are kind of go time. No 3-year plan. That's not been announced by the front office. It doesn't have to be. Everybody's smart enough now to know when you're starting over, and the Grizzlies did, and about a 3-year plan. Phoenix gave everyone hope in the West this year. They swung and missed in the finals, but boy, we'd like to swing and have that miss. And I don't think there's a dynasty by any means in Phoenix, so I think it's still open. Why not in 2 to 3 to 4 years? Why not Memphis? And tonight and tomorrow night in free agency this year and next will dictate a lot of that.
Not top story of the day.
Well, that is the news of the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson testing positive for COVID for the second time in 8 months. That's hard to believe, but a second time. And John Harbaugh is saying that 90% of his team is vaccinated.
And now, Lamar is fine.
Lamar seems to be fine. The aspect is, because they're not saying, was he vaccinated? If he's not vaccinated, he's got to go into quarantine for 10 days. If he is, I don't know what the protocol is. It's not a 10-day isolation, though. We know that for certain. So it's just crazy. You would think after he got it the first time he would have been vaccinated. I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. They're not saying.
My not top story, Olympic golf tees off in about an hour. Justin Rose, the defending gold medal winner, he's not there. Henrik Stenson, the defending silver medal winner, he's not there. Matt Kuchar, maybe the most appropriate bronze medal winner ever was Matt Kuchar in 2016. He's not there either. How much does it really mean to him? Rory McIlroy said he's disinterested. He's not that patriotic, doesn't care that much about it. They've made so much money, they don't care about anything but majors.
That's true. That is exactly true. You have 1 or 2 years like they have. You're no longer motivated because you are set for life. You bring up the Olympic golf, we give you the Summer Games update.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2020 Summer Games, sponsored by Discover Card. Discover believes a better tomorrow is possible for everyone. Discover something brighter. It's been a tough week for gymnastics star Simone Biles. Just a day after pulling out of the women's team final, Biles also dropped out of the women's individual all-around competition to continue focusing on her mental health. History was made on the hardwood, where American Stephanie Dolson, Alicia Gray, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young of the U.S. women's basketball team captured the first ever gold medal in the new 3x3 basketball tournament, defeating ROC 18-15. After the shocking loss to France in the Summer Games opener, the U.S. men's basketball team bounced back in a big way, blowing out Iran 120-66. Third time's a charm for swimmer Katie Ledecky, who finally touched first in her third attempt at the Summer Games. Ledecky captured gold in the women's 1,500-meter freestyle just an hour after finishing a disappointing fifth in the 200. With this Summer Games update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture the DQ Reese's Extreme Blizzard. That's Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Reese's Pieces, plus peanut butter topping and chocolatey topping mixed in world-famous DQ soft serve. Now picture yourself digging in. To express the excitement you'll feel, I'm talking in all caps, because it's a capital E extreme treat with all the Reese's flavor you could dream of. Underline exclamation point. Try the DQ Reese's Extreme Blizzard and take Reese's and DQ love to a whole new level. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays. Only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, listen up, Mid-South. It's time to get your new ride on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat with the biggest Make This the Summer event you've ever seen. Check out 2021 Dodge Challenger at $389 a month. Power up in a 2021 Dodge Charger at $429 a month. And get adventure ready in a 2021 Jeep Wrangler Sport, now just $539 a month. And don't forget to check out the all-new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Never a better time to trade or buy a new Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat from Gossett. So drive past the rest and come to the best, or shop online anytime at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost finance through Chrysler, 75 months at 3.99 APR, 3,500 down. Challenger MH586,606, MSRP 31,835. Charger MH602255, MSRP 33,435. Wrangler MW663938, MSRP 40,650. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
What I'm saying is, this is the anthem. Throw all your hands up. Y'all got to feel me. Sing if you're with me. Yeah. Don't wanna be just
Welcome back in. Nice to have you aboard on this scorching Wednesday afternoon. It's always fun to sit in these air-conditioned Family Leisure studios. I was actually at Family Leisure this morning. They've got chlorine. You know, we've had a chlorine shortage. They've got chlorine there. It's not the usual 25-gallon tubs you used to get. It's 10, but they've got it. And we got shortages of everything. Ladies and gentlemen, We really do. And we had shortages of chlorine, but the best stores get it. And you know what? Family Leisure, I think, is one of those great stores. Really look good this morning. Always people there to greet you when you walk through the door, show you to whatever you may need. And they still have great pricing on in-stock stuff. There's fall fashions. The fall patio stuff coming in every day now. They still have those play gyms in stock. They still have markdowns on remaining game room products. They've got those massage chairs, too. Hot tubs, by the way, have been going fast because guess what? We're going to have fall-like weather soon. Get it now before they go up in price. I'm telling you, everything looks beautiful at Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road, where family and fun all come together. This is a story we did not get to, but we need to say something about it because it's pretty good. The University of Memphis has a proposal they are going to give to the city where they will try and upgrade the Liberty Bowl to the tune of $40 to $50 million. Brett, new press box, expanded seatback areas, renovated suites. They want to do this as they have in some other projects like that tennis center that they are doing on Southern and Getwell. This is going to be a partnership, or they hope, between the city and the school. It'll be outstanding if that is it. I
will be.
They're going to remove
very necessary,
the press
very
box.
needed.
And my advice to whoever the architects are, if you remove that press box, lower the new one. Get it.
Lower the new one
and
promise to never return the old one to anyone. Nobody should have to sit 17.5 miles from midfield.
I believe it actually is 17 stories. That's what Jarvis Greer claims. I don't know how he knows.
Jarvis has claimed that for a long time. And I'm
17
going with
stories.
I'm going with it. Man. You know, they say at Augusta National, from the famous tree right there out back by 1T to the lowest point, which is around the dog leg on 13, that's the equivalent of 11 to 12 stories that fall off. The Liberty Bowl is more than that.
Yeah, that's right. From that storied oak tree to –
that's what they say. From the high point to the low point is almost 11 to 12 stories. And everybody, and TJ knows this as well, you do not realize it until you walk it.
Oh, my goodness.
And late in the day, after you've been out there gallerying all day, going from, that back area, back up there, toward the park area – it's straight uphill, it seems like, late in the day.
Oh, my goodness. If you walk that, and I usually like to do that Tuesday, Wednesday thing where you can – I'd rather watch the tournament on TV, to be honest with you. But if you go and you can get a ticket, you want to go to the Tuesday or Wednesday rounds, they're skipping the ball on 16, and they're chatting, and they're really fun. And you can do the par 3 stuff on Wednesday too. But you'll really get a sense of how up and down it is. TJ Reeves, as always, does join us now. And – Did you ever have to walk that thing for Sirius XM radio?
You're talking about Augusta now? Because I got so many things that I want to add after that setup. So I have been there, but I have never worked it for PGA Tour Radio or PGAtour.com. But the one thing that we always convey every year is you do not understand how much undulation there is on that front nine, especially until you've been there. And just one quick story, I got the chance to be at a practice round probably close to 20 years ago now. One of the first times I was there, 2000 or 2001, and Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson were playing a practice round on the Tuesday morning together.
Nice.
And it was hot that morning. I vividly remember this, and we were up on the 6th tee, which is the par 3, which, again, if you haven't been there, you don't understand how you walk up to that 6th tee, and then there's a whole group of hundreds of people that are sitting down below it on the hillside that you never see. That's how much undulation there is. Anyway,
and there's a lot of color on that hill, too. There's usually azaleas around it and flowers. Yes. It's gorgeous, yes.
And you used to never see it on television because they never showed the front nine. But Nicklaus and Watson came up to us, and they looked like they had been in a 15-round fight with Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson from the walk. From the first 6 holes, the first 5 holes on a hot day. So you're right with the hills. You gave me so much just sitting back and listening as you brought the show back, because I am an alum of the former Memphis State and spent many a Saturday with you, Wolo, with the late Paul Hartledge doing the games, and even before that when Jack Eaton was doing games at the Liberty Bowl and in that press box. And keep in mind that the Liberty Bowl Stadium was built at the same time that old Tampa Stadium was built by the same architect.
Yep.
And I got news to report here on Sports 56. Not only was the Tampa Stadium press box not any closer to the field in proximity, it was higher because it was a bigger capacity of 75,000 people. It was probably maybe only half a story in Jarvis Greer's math of 17 and a half stories up. But at times, you would be up on the fourth or fifth level of that press box, and you were closer to the Lord than you were to the field.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt
that
I can relate to that press box and how high it is. And I just wanted to share one other thing because we have fun reminiscing about things. Well, this is the 6th anniversary of me coming with the Twins to Memphis on a summer vacation, which at that time they were 7, and getting to see the city and the whole bit. On that 6th, and today is the 6th anniversary that we were there. I still remember all of this because here goes, and here's how it ties into the radio station. In the early part of the day, 6 years ago today, we went to the Memphis Zoo. And it was 108 degrees with the heat index, and we were lucky we did not die of a heat stroke, so much so when I have the picture, speaking of the tigers, that the tiger at the zoo laid in the moat the entire time and never moved. He was up to his neck
Smart
in
tiger.
water.
Yeah.
He was a smart tiger that day. We later went and ate, let's hear it, for Charlie Vergos, the family, and the Rendezvous. We ate at the Rendezvous, which I don't know how we consumed that much barbecue 6 years ago today after the near heat calamity that we had earlier today. And then we toured around the Bass Pro Shops, which had just opened earlier that year, like a month or two before, right? Went in a May opening, something like that.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
Somewhere around there because they had a big Memorial Day thing, right, where they kicked it off. And we could have walked around that place, as everybody knows now, for days that night. The next morning, I came in the studio, if you remember, with you and Peter Edmondson and with my father, and we brought you Gibson Donuts that morning. So I'm just reminiscing a little bit 6 years later.
Y'all have all the fun in the morning.
Man. Well, Stats, I'm sorry you missed out on the Rendezvous that night, the Memphis Zoo at 108 degrees, Bass Pro Shops, and Gibson Donuts, but I just had to reminisce for a second.
You know what John Vergos would tell you? That ribs are a natural coolant. They'll cool you off. That's good for you.
Give me some more
it's
of
better
those.
than
Sign
ice.
me up for the Rendezvous anytime.
You got it. TJ, you mentioned old times, and we remember the year of the Tennessee Oilers here in town, and people don't realize that the NFL field, that it's quite different than a college field. The hash marks, the 2-point line. That night before Saints and Oilers kicked off, they realized that they had the 2-point line where the college line was where the college line is, and they had to go re-chalk it. But now we're into NFL camp, but the fields are distinctly different.
Yeah, the hash marks are different, which is what you're talking about, and it makes a big difference too on kicks. Also. Because you're not as wide with that, so it's interesting. Everything about the NFL has now become seemingly different. Remember, the ball was different for so many years too, because the college ball had a white stripe, right?
And the price he had to pay for deflated footballs.
Well, right, and then everybody discusses what gets done with the football or not get done with the football to help you throw it better, blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, it is different when you go around to these different NFL stadiums too, and see what they are now like, because most of them are palaces. It's interesting because the growing trend, by the way, speaking of press box at these newer stadiums, is to put it up in the corner of an end zone. That's where they are, and you guys know this because you've been at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The new one in Santa Clara,
your stadium,
San Francisco. I mean, there's New England, the press box, Chicago, Soldier Field, the new press box. It is the corner of an upper end zone now where you sit at a lot of these places. Just FYI.
Yeah, no, it is a little harder to do to call a game from that vantage point, but I guess we're all getting used to it. I don't know where they plan on putting press in. If they do a new press box, it'll probably be from the 20 to the 20, right? And not like they used to, where it would go from maybe the 30 to the 30. Now they go maybe to the 10 to the 10 because they put suites in, and now they're putting the suites where they can make the most money right in the middle of the thing, and moving the press and both the electronic and print.
Auburn's moved everybody to the end zone.
Yeah. Do they do that? Do they do that to radio too?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, and when the ball's on the other end, when you get kind of gets down in the corner, you're a long way from the action.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I can testify, same thing at what's now Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where they have played the Super Bowl recently, where they have played the College Football Playoff Championship game, where they play the Orange Bowl every year. They have moved radio in particular into the corner. The regular press box has always been in the corner in what was wrapped around home plate of the baseball configuration.
Right.
But radio is now in the corner at the one end in a sealed-off area where there's no way to get crowd noise. You're almost like in a fishbowl doing the game, and you're right. To your point, that when you get to the far corner of the far end zone and trying to judge the 15-yard line or the 10-yard line or the 8-yard line, good luck. I don't care how young you are and how good your eyesight is.
You might as well be at the Delta Gate at Hartsfield.
Well, here, TJ knows this because he was in the booth when we did the Cotton Bowl. I could do the area of the end zone if the ball was there live. Otherwise, I was watching on the Jumbotron, which, thank goodness, if you watch like your monitor, they provide you with a monitor. This is inside baseball here. If they provide you with a monitor, but if you watch that monitor that ESPN provides you, it is delayed. It's delayed 4 to 5 seconds, so you really can't do that. Fortunately, the feed to the Jumbotron is real time. So you end up doing your call a lot of the time off the Jumbotron. All right, before we just spend the whole day reminiscing and giving you inside baseball, we got to talk about the hot story, and that, of course, is the expansion of the SEC, the ramifications of all of that. There's a new story in The Athletic today saying that because of this, there is not the same rush by a lot of people to try and expand the college football playoffs, which to me is very, very disappointing. And I know this is really exciting for the SEC, and I'm glad for the SEC fans and what a super league it's going to be. It's always been the best, or it's been the best league at least the last 10 or 15 years, but now it's going to be even greater. It is maybe not the greatest thing for all of college football, and certainly if it puts a weight and a delay on the college football playoff expansion, which was more inclusive for all, that to me is not a good thing.
Yep. Well, and that's one of the byproducts here where the greed is every which direction, and the greediest of the greedy are going to go grab what they can grab. And I can understand where not everybody else is now ready to sign off on what they were talking about just a few weeks ago with a 12-team playoff. And we don't know for sure, but we have believed for years. In fact, I was on last week in your absence right when this news had broken, probably within an hour or two, and Brett was there at Media Days, at SEC Media Days.
Right.
And one of the things I said to him is, what year is this, 2010 or 2011, when we were doing all of this all the time in June or July? And here we are back around now 10 years later. But we've known for a decade we are headed basically to 4 16-team super conferences. That is what we are ultimately going to get to with the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC apparently, and the Pac-12 is what it looks like. It doesn't look like the Big 12 will survive this. And so it's every school for themselves to figure out where's one of those other landing spots. And so it doesn't surprise me that the playoff stuff is up in the air, because what does the conference landscape look like? And what happens if those 4 super conferences just get together and break away and decide we're going to do our own playoff, which I know if you're in Memphis, if you're in Tampa where the schools are in the American Conference, or if you're in Boise, Idaho, or wherever where there's a prominent football program that maybe doesn't have a tie to one of those super leagues, you don't want to hear that. But that may very well be where we're headed if we stick around long enough, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, where all of these big names that we know all have 16 teams in them. We'll see.
Do you think the SEC's done at 16, and do you want them done at 16, or more on the way?
as preposterous as it would have sounded a few years ago to say, done at 16 teams, can anybody say for sure that they wouldn't go to 24 if they had the opportunity and have more games on TV? And I don't know how you would meet that out to have a conference championship game if you had more than 16. Practically now you're not going to be able to play cross-division teams basically at all once you're up to 16, but you can't say never at this point. But clearly the SEC has been the forerunner at the forefront, the smartest and the quickest to line all of this up and line the pockets of all of their schools, and that's why Texas and Oklahoma want to be there rather than risk the Big 12 unraveling. And, one more point here. We all love watching ESPN. We enjoy it. We've worked, I know, Wolo, you've worked at some point, and I have too, various forms and fashions for ESPN. It is obviously an amazing success story in terms of TV. It never ceases for me as we go year by year in college football, how much power and how much control they have over the sport. A television network to torpedo conferences like they torpedoed the Big East a few years ago when they wouldn't agree to the deal. And they said, okay, watch what happens. We'll get Pittsburgh and Syracuse into the ACC, which we do have a deal with, and watch the Big East disintegrate. And it's very similar here with the Big 12, where Oklahoma and Texas see the writing on the wall, and ESPN is all too quick to, I'm sure, behind the scenes help facilitate, come into the SEC because we're going to be the exclusive home of the SEC coming up. And by the way, we're behind the curtain on the whole college football playoff with all the schools too. So it's amazing that it's the only facet of sports in this country that's basically controlled by a single television network on when people play, who they play at the beginning of the year, who gets to be in what conference. It's incredible that when ESPN started back 40 years ago, one of the signature things, I don't think this is up for debate, that 40 years later, they control college football, beginning of the season to end, a television network, guys.
They have become the monster. There is no doubt. I think, though, if they are behind the college football playoff, that you would want the inclusion so that you have some drama and some Cinderella stories with which to promote and to bring more interest. You can't have just one league that everybody's interested. If you're the ESPNs and you're a national network, that would seem to me to be working against your whole thing. So I don't know about them trying to slow down a 12-team college football playoff. That just
I don't know if
make
it would be
sense to me.
them that would be trying to slow it down, but keep in mind that the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are still trying to figure out here, in particular the Pac-12 with a new commissioner. What does the landscape look like? And neither one of those conferences have an exclusive deal with the SEC. With ESPN. The SEC and the ACC do. And so that's what's going to hold up ratifying a 12-team playoff is the Big Ten and the Pac-12 specifically want to know what's in it for them and how many schools they can get in. And do we need to have 12 spots versus 8 spots? That's another debate, because if you have 12 spots and 5 to 6 of the spots every year going to the Southeastern Conference, and the lion's share, therefore, of the money going to that one conference, then I can understand why others would be rankled by that. We could go on and on, though, about that. The one thing we do know is get ready for more change, because of this with Texas and Oklahoma, there will be more change with more teams going to other leagues out of the Big 12 that probably ends up disintegrating here over the next 2 or 3 years.
Well,
that would be my
honestly, that's the hope of if you're a Memphis or an American Athletic Conference guy, you're hoping that is the case, that your league doesn't get rated, that the Big 12 ends up just totally blowing up, and some schools go to the Big Ten, and some schools go to the ACC, and some
one quick thing to watch.
Come here.
One quick thing to keep an eye on. Who ends up with the deal with CBS to be the team that's on at 2:30 Central Time, Memphis time, 3:30 Eastern Time, that replaces the SEC games when that happens 2 or 3 years from now? Which league, whoever it is, gets in on a deal with CBS to have that slot and be on network TV everywhere? Is that the Big Ten? It's not likely the Pac-12. Is it the American Conference where Mike Oresco once was that can figure out a way with other schools to make that attractive enough? That's one component that's not ESPN related that may be a factor in all this.
That would
food
be
for thought on
that would be huge. My bet would be it would be the Big Ten, but that would be a big bump in the money. And the American does not make the kind of money that the other Power Fives, including the Big 12, that they make. Last thing before we let you go, got to do it quick. Who do you like in the Olympics when we start playing golf here in a little bit?
Honestly, I have not paid great attention on who else is around everywhere else. I know Patrick Reed replaced Bryson DeChambeau. So, give me the short version on the top 4 or 5 guys that are there, because I know Rory McIlroy is playing for Ireland.
Right.
I know Rahm is out, but who else?
Well, Morikawa is one of the favorites who just won a major.
JT, Xander Schauffele.
I think Hideki Matsuyama, playing in his hometown, would have a lot of motivation to
Captain
do well.
America, Patty Reed.
Patrick Reed, as you said. Paul Casey, I think, has played well in these before.
Give me Matsuyama, even with the pressure on him. Give me Matsuyama to contend, if not.
Great story. I tend to think that's correcto mundo there, Mr. Reeves.
I'm playing your song, and we did not rehearse that.
No.
We did not rehearse that, but it will be interesting with the golf and with all the other things that have been unfolding at the Olympics to watch all this, and it's an interesting time across the sports landscape for sure, including the defending champion Bucks are back at it practicing and will be playing games before too much longer. So we're excited about that too.
Champion Bucks. I don't think I've ever heard it quite put that way before about an NFL team. The defending champion Bucks. Great pride. I'm sure that they are. The Bucks are listening to this broadcast. I know everything you say. Thank you, buddy. Take care. Talk to you
guys
next week.
Be well. I hope it's a little cooler than it was 5-6 years ago when I was there in Memphis. When we're off the air here, I'm going to send a picture of the tiger in the moat so Brett can put it on social media of that day 6 years ago when it was either 107 or 108 heat index in Memphis. I don't know how hot it is today.
It's hot.
I know how hot it was that day.
It is currently 97 degrees outside, and that's not with the heat index. Speaking of golf, this portion of the show is brought to you by Miramichi, and I had a guy come up to me, and he goes, I love that special they got for the old guys on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday where you're only paying $30, getting a golf cart, getting all the complimentary range balls, getting to use all those practice facilities. $30 at Miramichi, 330 acres of natural beauty, 7,400 yards if you want to go that far. I don't think most seniors, though. They're probably playing like me, 6,000, 6,200, 6,300. The gold tees, they say they're 6,500. I don't think they're really quite that far. And there's shorter distances. Look, this is a great golf course. Golf Week says so. It's amongst the best golf courses you can play state by state. And when they bring up Tennessee, prominently featured is Miramichi. You're just going to love the place. Even on the weekends, it's affordable. Sunday, Saturday, $49, including the cart, and again, those range balls. And the practice area, there's not a public golf course. There's a lot of country clubs that don't have the practice facilities that Miramichi has. Nobody's got that beautiful patio either like they've got that sits above 9 and 18. It is the idyllic spot to have a post-game conversation about your match. So this weekend, even if it's hot, go in the morning, go see my friends at Miramichi. Back with a wrap of this very first hour on this scorcher of a Wednesday on Sports Time on Sports 56.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Magic in Memphis. Excellence delivered. Where the world comes to showdown. To be the king of Grind City. Today's stars, tomorrow's legends. Taking care of business. Compete to conquer the world. Don't miss the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. August 5th through 8th. For more information, visit WGCFedEx.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Start your engines, Mid-South. Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike is ready for the Enjoy Your Summer Style sales event. Get plenty of pulling power and more standard features than Mazda CX-5 and Ford Escape in your new 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $229 a month. And hit the road in a 7-passenger 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. We Gossett at $259 a month. All powered by our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So don't miss the Enjoy Your Summer Style sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, 750 loyalty rebate, 48 months, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Outlander NZO 166.72, MSRP 29,480. Cross NC 003186, MSRP 27,725. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Mid-South Hobbies has your favorite model airplanes, boats, race cars, and trains to build. With brands you know like Lionel, LGB, and a large selection of Traxxas radio-controlled trucks, cars, and boats. Mid-South Hobbies has all the accessories to make them complete, with thousands of paint colors to make them shine. Reach the sky with rockets and kites, or reach deep into your imagination with action figures, comic book superheroes, and fantasy quest games. Get passionate about your hobby at Mid-South Hobbies. 4862 Summer Avenue, open 7 days a week. Call 901-682-9402.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Aaron Rodgers showed up today at the Green Bay Packers training camp, and I think he held like a 37-minute press conference, said basically the crux of the matter was, quote, I just want to be involved in conversations that affect my ability to do my job. When asked if he's gotten any assurances that will happen, he said, I'm not sure. He spoke at length about how he has been disappointed about veteran players the Packers have either released or not re-signed at various points in his career. In fact, he rattled down a bunch of names, including Charles Woodson, Julius Peppers, Randall Cobb, who's actually returning to the Packers in a pending trade with the Houston Texans. Look, I know a quarterback should have some input, especially a guy who's been around and has been an MVP and has led you to a Super Bowl. But I never realized that by being in that position, you become a general manager.
And blazed away from the dais today at the training facility, at the Packers on their property. He got it all out. Now, it also says something about the Packers. They had to know he wasn't going to go out there and be any shrinking violet.
No.
That he was going to let it all hang out. And somewhere in those meetings they said, let him do it. And then if we win enough this year, we'll explain it.
Right.
If we don't, he's probably gone next year anyway.
Yeah, well, I think they'll let him go next year. It is
too much talk about his years of service for him to it sounds like he wants out after this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And look, I think you have to honor a guy who can give you a lot of good input, and there's nobody that, from that position, very few that really understand the game as well as he does. I give him that credit.
And he was in that position behind Favre.
I would listen to him. But the final word on these things is a guy who's got the big picture and understands the financial ramifications of a team, not just one player's pockets like his, that you listen and maybe you explain and maybe that Goodenhurst or whatever his name is, the GM there, didn't do a very good job of explaining. But the bottom line is one guy's a GM and one guy's a player.
That's it. And I'm not saying shut up and dribble, but I'm saying after today, it's time to go play ball.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that one. And that's an hour in the books. When we come back, this will be fun. Our friend from Timber Trust, John Gowen's going to join us. We'll talk about a little WGC. We'll throw that in there too. But we've got Olympic golf that is starting up, and we got to make our picks. That comes your way in just a minute.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation in Marion, Arkansas. Cypress View Golf and Recreation is fun for your entire family. Accepting new memberships now. Call about the new intro price, only $199 per month plus tax. Includes unlimited golf, state-of-the-art new workout room, kiddie pool for the kids, Olympic-sized pool for the entire family to enjoy, and a great pub and steak bar. Cypress View Golf and Recreation has a new golf pub with tons of new food items for breakfast and lunch. Choose from Philly steak cheese sandwiches, homemade fresh hand-patted burgers, and Nathan's hot dogs, flatbreads, quesadillas, summer salads, and more. Take advantage of new memberships of unlimited golf, only $199 plus tax. Call Pro Mark today for your new membership at 870-739-6305. Come be a part of a great golf family. Get away from stress at Cypress View, just over the river.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain unlimited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981.9%, MSRP $20,685, Sportage in 79.79.540, 0% MSRP $26,060, K5 NGO 950.54.9%, MSRP $25,840, includes all rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021, dealer stock only, must finance through Kia on APR offer.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Have you noticed your air conditioning system never breaks down at a good time? We know at Conway Services the timing's not always right to replace your air conditioning system. That's why we have financing options available. Right now, during the dog days of summer, get your new Carrier air conditioning system for as low as $99 per month. That's right, Conway Services has new Carrier air conditioning systems for as low as $99 per month. Now you could do that. Plus, your new air conditioning system comes with a 10-year parts warranty and a free Nest thermostat. And you know, with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
This situation wrecks me. I can't stand the way you do.
Welcome in on this Wednesday afternoon. Hot outside. Hot stories inside. We're about to talk a little bit of golf. You didn't mention a positive story last night from the Olympic Games. There haven't been that many of those, but basketball team bounced back very nicely. A blowout of Iran. They almost doubled them, 120-66. Damian Lillard led the team only with 21 points. All 12 guys who played scored at least 4 points, so there was some teamwork there. Very good there. And
who did you have there, Dave? Did you lay the 33.5 and take the United States over Iran?
I thought it was like 40 was the line, honestly.
33.5,
I thought. It was 33.5? Wow. I actually thought it was 40, and they covered. I would not have made that bet. I would not have laid that amount of points with this team, but now maybe I should feel a little bit better about them. They when do they play again? Do you know? They
still have
space it
pool
out pretty
play.
well. Yeah.
They have one more in pool play and then advance to medal round.
Okay.
If they win.
If they win. They got to keep winning, right? They're not going to lose.
Golf teeing off in 30 and about 24 minutes.
Oh, we better get our picks in then before the very first ball is struck, because
we sure want credibility.
That would be unfair, right? That would be great insight on our part. I'll be honest with you. Do you even know, like, the format? How many rounds to this golf tournament?
Yes. It's a regular PGA Tour event. Just 72 holes.
72 holes. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
No teams,
stroke,
no alternate balls or anything like that.
No.
Just
no. All individual, just
all
like on tour.
Okay.
Most weeks on tour.
And I think I read, and maybe John Goen from Timber Trust can elaborate on this, but I think the course is pretty easy. I think they're going to knock it absolutely out of the ballpark there. What do you know, John Goen, about the Olympic Fair here?
Well, it's a long golf course. It's 7,500 yards from where they're going to kind of play it from. It's an older country club over in Japan. Actually opened up in 1929, and so very, very similar to some of our older golf courses over here. Probably wouldn't surprise me if it is a little bit more open. Not as difficult, probably not as tree lined. Probably it seems as if they've got some fairly deep bunkers and things along those lines that are going to ultimately try to be the protection of score on the golf course. But I don't know. It should be rather interesting to kind of see. Since this golf course has been there for some time, as opposed to the course that was actually built in 2016 down in Brazil. So, a little bit more history to this golf course, a little bit, obviously some more age to this golf course. So as far as conditions go, I mean, they should be able to have it in good shape and not really have too many issues kind of going into it.
Yeah, I can't imagine them wanting, something around par being the winning score. As much as you can control that, I think they want some birdies to be made, John. But why have them go halfway around the world to just beat the utter what out of them?
Well, yeah, I don't disagree at all with that. And then, of course, you're coming off of a major here as well, and everybody trying to travel, and then of course, dealing with all of the COVID issues and things along those lines, and a lot of flux as far as, who's playing for which country and things along those lines. So, I'm sure they're going to be happy to get things, kicked off here in the next 20 minutes or so and get these next 4 rounds of golf in, hopefully without too many potential issues.
And we should point out, as tough as that may be, and it is a lot of travel. It's a long way to Tokyo. I think that's a 20-hour flight from the United States.
Right now, 6:07 in Tokyo.
But they are getting, if they want to come to Memphis, if they have qualified to come to Memphis and are still committing to coming here, there's a plane that, as Daryl Smith told us, that is supplied by, I don't know if it's FedEx or if it's the WGC event itself, but they're going to get on a private airplane and they get a flight here.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some benefits to that, but clearly though too, they're going to have some jet lag issues, and I mean, let's face it. Right now, if I'm playing in the Olympics and I'm getting ready to come to Memphis next week, I think the bigger concern I have is that how am I going to avoid the COVID issues over there? Clearly, there have already been a couple of players, that have contracted COVID, that are now not playing, but, in Bryson and John Rahm. If I'm competing over there and I have qualified to be able to come to Memphis next week, I'm a little concerned, that there's obviously the potential issues of testing through the course of the time that you're going to be here, and having a Rahm situation, similar to Memorial, if you're in contention or whatever, and having to withdraw.
That's a lot of money.
They're going to be tested, and Daryl Smith told us, but in both the case of Rahm and in DeChambeau, that they would be eligible, provided that they test negatively, they would be eligible if they enter. Beat the deadline of 5 o'clock on Friday and enter into the tournament because of eligibility. They could still play, even though they said they weren't coming. They could still change their mind and come and get on that airplane in Tokyo to Memphis if they so desire, as long as they keep testing negatively.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
just curious as to how, I'm just curious as to how John Rahm, within the span of a 6-week period, has contracted this thing now twice.
I'm with you.
And if I'm John Rahm, I'm
kind of leery of that, especially since he has now been vaccinated, and things along those lines. So, I mean, obviously you want those guys to be here. You hope those guys are going to be here, but I would tend to think, especially with everything, mainly in John Rahm's situation, that has gone on with him and COVID in the last 6 weeks or so. I don't think he does it just for his own sanity.
Had enough.
Just because I don't know how you could go through that again. I mean, it would potentially be 3 times where sure, he could test negative coming into Memphis, and then something else could happen. And then have a similar situation as to happen to Memorial. I think you don't risk it. You go home, you spend time with your family, your newborn child, and away you go.
The other aspect that I don't understand on this Olympic make, because I read the whole field and all the countries, and the United States is the only one. We got 4 or 5 guys. I mean,
four is the max you have.
Patrick Reed replaced DeChambeau, so now the Americans have 4. Most countries have 2. How did the U.S. get 4? Is it all based on...
That's the most you can have, world golf ranking.
It's on world golf ranking, the most you could have is 4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And no other
country... The host country, Japan, was guaranteed 1 slot regardless if anybody automatically qualified because of being the host country, but they had someone qualify.
Oh, they did. Because there were 2 Japanese players. One Hideki, and I did not recognize the other. And I thought it was cool. The highest ranked player in the field, I believe, if I read this right, was 263. So for the most part, it's a good field.
Yeah, it is a good field. John, bigger picture, Olympic golf. You like, dislike, stroke, team, a match. What would you like to see it be?
I think in the grand scheme of things, I'd probably rather see a bit more of a team competition in this format.
I'm with you, 100%.
I think it's just a struggle. I mean, what is my interest in watching this right now? And I know. I mean, I was obviously working, for the network and everything during the time that we were trying to help with the Olympics, from a PGA Tour perspective, and there was all this push to get the Olympics in. The biggest challenge right now, and the interesting part coming out of this, is going to be, this is the renewal year for the Olympics. So, you only had 2 shots at this to see. There will be an evaluation period now after this year to see if golf goes forward into the future. So there's some substantial pressure on, the folks behind, golf to be able to keep this as an Olympic sport kind of moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how that whole thing shakes out. But I do think that there needs to be a tweak here that makes it much more of a team event. Even similar to, what happens either down in New Orleans or something along those lines, and not have this thing just be an individual competition. I don't think you can do, a Ryder Cup style, President's Cup style format. I don't see how you could ultimately make that work. But I think that it needs to turn into some type of a team event.
I think that is spot on, and I understand why the PGA wants to be involved, because there is no greater universal athletic competition than the Olympics. That is great brand to be associated with. But what differentiates this particular 72-hole competition from any other, like from the John Deere in Illinois? I mean, it doesn't. It should be a team thing, because that's what the Olympics are. And John, I think it should be 4 guys per team, the best 4 from each country that want to play. Or
it's not a team concept in the 100-meter dash.
In the 100-meter dash, it sure is. You have to qualify from Americans to be the top guy. It's only 1 guy. Or is it after that? It's after 2. But there's team competitions. Like in gymnastics, there's individual.
You win it individually.
And there's individual, but there's team, and the team scores are all added up. So you could add up the team scores. You could play where you have a qualifying thing where you start knockouts in some form and up or set it up with team scores where the best two teams then play a Ryder Cup or something. But it needs to be, in my mind, team-oriented, so I know it's going to be Ireland against Great Britain or the United States or whatever, and, who cares if it ends up being Morikawa against McIlroy? Are we really thinking this is the United States against Ireland?
McIlroy said he didn't care. He said he said he's really not Irish. He's more British than he is Irish.
Yeah, McIlroy made a comment that he's not overly patriotic or something like that.
Yeah, said it just doesn't move him at all.
Right.
Why is he playing?
Interesting.
Well,
I think
why has he been playing the last year? Because he's been miserable everywhere he's been the last year.
I think he's playing because, he's probably knows and understands that, he's probably a bit of the face of golf, and that at the end of the day, too, I think Nike has probably some influence there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's probably some pressure on some of these guys, these top guys that are playing, whether it's Colin now or Justin, Rory, that they needed to be there in order to kind of help, solidify this thing kind of moving forward. I'm surprised that there wasn't maybe a bit more put on, some of the other guys, whether it's DJ or Brooks or whatever, to be in this event. But, as I said earlier, I think that there's definitely some focus on what's going to happen here, and I think there's some pressure on whether it's the PGA Tour, European Tour, USGA, whomever, to ensure that golf is going to continue to be an Olympic sport, because there's been such a push for well over a decade to try to make sure that they could get golf into the Olympics.
So, John,
let's pick.
Do you think, last thing, we'll make our picks, do you think there is more pressure that is coming from the PGA, or is there more pressure from the big sponsors that have players that are carrying their brands and getting national exposure?
Well, I mean, being an independent contractor, as all these guys are, I would probably tend to think that their sponsors are going to play a little bit more of a pivotal role as far as whether they say yes or no to attending, this event. I mean, we all know that, from a tour perspective, Jay Monahan works for these guys. And so, he's got to keep the best interests of his group in mind as he, kind of crafts any type of policy or anything else. And there's only so hard, you're going to be able to push these guys to be able to do certain things. So, and clearly, I think in sports in general, not just golf, you are definitely starting to see the player have a lot more, influence as far as, what is going on either in their schedule, on their team, whatever. Players are definitely kind of stepping up into much more of a role where they have more say. So I think it's going to become increasingly more difficult for these guys to kind of be talked into going to events. And I think that's where the tour is going to have challenges moving forward with regard to schedule and events and things along those lines, trying to make sure that they keep their player fields and stuff like that up for these smaller events that we continue to talk about through the course of the year.
Yep. All right, let's pick this Olympic showdown here. There's money. $3 million for the winner, $2 million for the that's for the gold. For the silver, you get $2. For the bronze, you get $1. If you're shock, and we're taking anybody, but if your shock, as you pick it, ends up winning the gold medal, it's double the money. Did I get that right, Mr. Norsworthy?
That's correct.
Okay,
that's correct. And I'm going to start with first pick with the champion golfer of the year, Colin Morikawa.
I'm going to go with the best story that we could have in Tokyo. I'm going to go with Hideki.
Interesting. I mean, been struggling since the players, but I mean, he's the second best player in this field, and at the end of the day, I mean, nobody really blows your doors off here. So I think I will take Justin Thomas.
JT, wow, okay, that leaves Brian a lot of talent there for you.
I'll take Xander Schauffele.
Don't blame you. So, if this guy wins, it's double the money.
That is correct. If he wins, but he's got to win to get the double. You don't get double for silver or bronze.
Right.
And I will go with, and this is tough because this could really get me back in it. I'm going to go with Captain America, Patrick Reed.
Oh my gosh, I did not think you would do that. I was going to go there. I thought for sure you would take Victor Hovland. Wow. You have surprised me, Mr. Norsworthy. I guess, man, there's a lot of ways you could go here. I'm gonna go.
Maybe the most crucial pick of the year, right here.
I know it. I will go with Victor Hovland.
Crucial pick of the year. I love it.
It's double the money.
The
and
Norwegian.
It's a good player. Come on.
Victor Hovland.
It's big.
All right, John. No pressure, John. Only the most crucial pick of the year.
That pick, if it's correct.
So far, everybody I thought would be
you.
selected has been selected.
I'm going to take Mark Leishman.
Wow.
I didn't have that down.
Mark Leishman was not. I have him written down. I was surprised he did not make the power rankings. So that's a big.
Right, and this is game, set, and match for Bryant right here. Yeah. If they were to win the shock, I mean,
Lord, we're in trouble.
It's fruitless to pick the rest of the way for us.
Oh wow.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. I've got about 3 guys on my list. I'm gonna go. Try to play it safe. Go Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleetwood. Okay.
Okay.
Nobody took the guy who apparently hasn't had his buttons pushed, Rory. Nobody's taken Rory McIlroy.
Nah.
I thought that was interesting.
He basically said, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. If he has no drive already, or he's not been playing well during events already, if you have no motivation to be in an event, what are you going to do here?
I hear you. I think you're right about that. So here's the way it goes. Brett has Morikawa, and his shocker is Patrick Reed, who gets into this only because DeChambeau has a positive COVID test. I'm going with the hometown hero, Hideki Matsuyama. My shock, Victor Hovland. That may be the greatest shock ever that we have him in a shock position. Justin Thomas is the pick for John. He goes with a shocker of Mark Leishman, Xander Schauffele for Bryant, Tommy Fleetwood, the shock, and let the games begin. I guess they're about to tee off in Tokyo, so we'll be keeping our eye on that. John, how's business at Timber Truss?
Well, I tell you what, it's been toasty. I know that for a fact. But golf courses pretty much recovered now. Aerification-wise, last aerification of the year, so we're happy to kind of get that behind us. Overall, golf courses is awfully good. I mean, the rain that we have been having has continued to help things stay green and lush and growing and everything. So pretty happy about that. We've got our 2-man scramble tomorrow night, which is always a good way to kind of kick off the weekend a little bit on the early side. We do have some tee times available, for the weekend. Obviously with the way the weather is, those early morning tee times are definitely at a premium. I'm willing to bet right now there might be 1 or 2 left, but probably not too many. Happy to see some cool weather in the long range forecast going into next week. But as everybody's returning back, school starts here pretty soon. But just looking forward to having folks out over the weekend. You can either visit us at timbertrustgolf.com to book your tee times online, or you can call us at 662-895-3776. 3530 to not only sign up for tomorrow night, but also book your tee times for this upcoming weekend.
Thank you, John. We appreciate it. And this should be fun watching. That's for sure. I guess we'll get to see some of that tonight. I would say enjoy the golf this weekend, but I guess we'll kind of see what happens. I love how Dave's shock pick, though, too, is higher than his lock pick. That's a good one. That's called strategy, my friend.
Going for it. Most important pick of the year.
Most important pick of the year.
Thank you,
John. All right, guys. Take care.
Thank you,
this
man.
portion of our show, in fact, this hour of our show is presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch, our friends right there on the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 or I-22, whatever they're calling it these days. You know it. It's Lamar in Memphis, and it's 10, 15 minutes away. And this is the place that you got to go because these are the folks that really have raised the bar for the way car business should be done. Let's start with the product. We start with the Hyundai safest car in the world. We start with the Genesis cars. They are the best bang for your dollar in the luxury category. That's a fact. So you take that product and then you go, wait a second, it's so good, we're going to guarantee it. That's what they do at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. They give you a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Guaranteeing it for 10 years. Wow, that's amazing. And then they believe in service. This is my friend Chris True, the general manager, giving back. He wants to take care of you. So he gives you a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on the house. They'll change your oil. They'll rotate your tires. They'll check your liquid levels. They'll tighten the belts. They'll do everything to keep your car at peak running condition, and they do it for free. They've raised the bar at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You just need to go check it out. We'll pause for a second. When we come back, we'll talk about the Olympics and all the financial ramifications, maybe of what Simone Biles is doing. Our professor from Harvard and the NBC family of stations, Rick Horrow, comes your way in just a minute.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane comes your way every weekday morning from 7 till 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981, 0.9%, MSRP $20,685, Sportage in 79,79540, 0% MSRP $26,060, K5 NGO 95054, 0.9%, MSRP $25,840, includes all rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021, dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
Brian Elders Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Memphis's hometown airline, Southern Airways, is offering a sizzling summer deal. For this July only, flights from Memphis to Harrison-Branson, Hot Springs, and El Dorado, Arkansas have a promotional fare starting at just $19. Fly over the interstate traffic and bypass the bridge delays on one of Southern's flights to Arkansas. Catch a concert in El Dorado, hit the lake in Hot Springs, or fly to Harrison and make the easy drive to Branson or even to Fayetteville. Flying Southern is easy with no TSA screening hassles and free parking at Signature Flight Support. Don't forget, Southern service to Destin has returned for its 9th summer season. So if you're planning a trip to the Emerald Coast, visit iflysouthern.com to reserve your seats today.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. A lot of day baseball going on. Is there a 17-run pool anywhere? Brett Norsworthy, Tigers beat the Twins today. 17-14.
How about the over and under? Whew.
31. Wow.
Lions and Vikings may not have that many.
No, you're right. Cleveland knocks off the Cardinals today. 7-2. Houston leading Seattle 4-zip. That one in the 5th, in the 4th, Oakland. Man, that team is making a move. San Diego is trailing the A's 7-0 in some interleague play.
The Mariners are right behind the A's, too. The Mariners could disrupt our 10 teams or set theory.
Yeah. We should point out our friend that we love having on, our professor, is brought to you by the Memphis Sports Council and Memphis Tourism. They're always involved in something really creative, really good. And there was news today, and I know this is right up Rick Horo's alley, that the University of Memphis is presenting to the city of Memphis in a partnership for a $50 million or up to $50 million remodel of the Liberty Bowl. So I know he is going to want to comment on that, but there are so many great things that Memphis Tourism has done, and there are new things happening all the time with what they're going to do with Liberty Park and all of the playing fields that will be there. Let me tell you, there will be all kinds of tournaments from all across the country coming to Memphis, because that's what tourism is all about filling restaurants and hotels and giving opportunities for local teams to take on national and sometimes international competition. And there are so many amenities they've been involved in that have just made the city better, including things like the Green Line and the River Passage. You just can't beat what they do, and they are kind enough, Kevin Kane, J.J. Greer, Melvin Gibson, to help bring guys like Rick Horo to you every week. And Rick, what do you think about that Liberty Bowl possibility? Because I know you've sort of, through Steve Earhart, kind of looked at the possibilities that Memphis needs a facelift. The Liberty Bowl does.
Well, you know, I did 100 of those. I mean, this just sounds arrogant, but it's, you know, I'm just old. And I know that every one of these is individual in its implementation, but kind of broadly general in its presentation, especially after COVID. You know, a lot of people that are saying you shouldn't be giving public money to anything like this after COVID. You got to do it for teachers and otherwise. This is infrastructure. In 1923, Yankee Stadium got done with a lot of public money because they thought it would help get out of the Spanish flu epidemic. And the same in 1932 with the Orange Bowl, with the Work Progress Administration helping with the Depression. So this is clearly something that is needed. The other piece of this is important is that when you deal with stadiums that are driven a lot by colleges and they work out a public-private partnership, and I'm talking about you guys, I'm talking about the University of Miami, there are a few of these that are not involved with pro sports teams, and that makes it even more difficult, to be honest about it, because the pro sports team has some ability to write a large or small check, depending on what they want to do. But, a university is a little bit different, and clearly a sports commission or a sports council is very difficult about that, very different about that, and it's a public service. You all understand the benefits. You understand tourism, hotels, special events, but you can't have that with the stadiums falling down. So, kudos to them in a very difficult time. And, again, this is a shameless ad. Anything I can do, to support that, I'd be glad to. I call Earhart, but, if something costs a nickel, he's not going to call me back.
We can get you. We can negotiate a rate for you to call Steve. Rick, has any owner around sports any owner around sports in the 21st century 100% bankrolled his or her own stadium without a penny of tax dollars?
Well, I would say no, although someone would say that's wrong, and then I'm going to ask them to include infrastructure in their plan.
Exactly, sewage, roads,
Chicago, and L.A. as the big kind of examples of big cities where people spend their own money. But then you look at the land acquisition, you look at the interstates, you look at the parking, which you couldn't have without that. And those are largely public expenses. And then if you put all the money in the pot and you realize some of it goes to the stadium footprint itself, but a lot of it goes to getting in and out, I would be very, very clear in saying that it would be very difficult these days to ask any owner to bear the entire burden of getting a stadium done.
Well, let's take Jerry's World. What was the percentage that Jerry put out, and what was the cost to? I guess it's in Arlington, right? Isn't that where it is?
Well, it's Arlington. It's the city of Arlington. It's sales tax. It's entertainment tax. They spent about a little less than 2/3. It was a huge facility, but let's remember a lot of those bonds are paid off by the entertainment tax and the sales and the other kind of taxes around it. Now, one of the things that's happening these days, I think, and it should be, and politicians that are enlightened will make a case about economic impact. And if you bring a stadium up to X standard, it's going to generate X more dollars than it previously did. And if there's a way to freeze the taxes on those X dollars and make sure that goes back to paying off the bonds to get the stadium done, then you have an argument that says the stadium's paid for by the activity around it. And it's a lot harder to defeat it. There are a lot of places that, I've been at to make suggestions, and it depends on which the local tax makes more sense on. But that's the wave of the future. Private investment, development opportunities, telling the whole development story, and then any public money is viewed as an investment, not a subsidy.
And then, Rick, the multiplier effect, the repeat dollars, the trickle down, the trickle up, the magnifying of all the dollars spent by that tourist coming to town to that new remodeled stadium. The NBC executives right now, you think they are pleased or displeased right now with how the Olympics have started?
Well, it's hard to know because, listen, if you ask them, if we got through 6 days of the games without them being called off, and let's say the question was asked last Thursday, they'll say, oh, yeah, no, we'll take it. If you said, how about our marquee athletes, and I'm not just talking about Simone Biles. I'm talking about Kerry Walsh Jennings, too, who was in all of the promos, for volleyball, and she didn't make it. So you always take a calculated risk. Of course the ratings are down. Why? Well, it's a different time zone. Spoiler alert, the U.S. just won the gold medal in 3x3 basketball on the women's side. Oh, my God, why'd you give that away? Well, because everybody listening knows that already, as does everybody else. And so it's a very difficult evaluation on the primetime show. Now, if NBC takes and Madison Avenue goes along with it, the people that are watching at 4:30 in the morning, the insomniacs or the real intense people, and the people that stream throughout the day on Peacock and otherwise, and the people that look at prime time, you put them all in a bucket, and you say these people wouldn't be watching but for the Olympics, and Madison Avenue says, yeah, let's add them all up, then you got some.
Do you think NBC did a good job of the controversy from last night, which was really yesterday morning, with Biles and the way?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't, because I watched some of it in real time, and I watched some of it on my device, and that's really the rub. When the story broke, it was not prime time. Then prime time had it where a lot of people remember that the story broke a few hours ago. And again, it's awful hard to cover a news story where 60% of the people know what the punchline is already, or maybe even more. So it's an evolving story, too. I mean, nobody knows for a fact, and I'm watching some of the butchering of this around the media as we speak. Will she compete next week in the individuals? Well, as of right now, the answer may be no, but we don't know that.
Right. We don't know that, because that was the door on that was not closed. Based on where her head is at this very moment, you wouldn't think she would, but truly, we don't know that for a fact. I'm just wondering, because I'm trying to figure this out. I was going to save this for a little bit later, but we are really changing the way we look at things. There's no doubt. I asked Brett a little earlier how many hits he thought the University of Memphis website, GoTigersGo.com, got the last 2 years. So this is a school's website where you go for all kinds of information, buy tickets, look at video, whatever it may be. And we had a presentation from a woman who came up from Atlanta to get to some sponsors today about digital media and possibilities of using digital media. And it blew me away when she said 9.6 million hits on the Tiger website in 2 years. That, to me, is staggering. And I thought NBC last night was, like me, a little uninformed. How many people knew before Mike Tirico started talking about Simone Biles exactly what you just said, the punchline? So maybe that should not have been the emphasis that we saw the whole night long.
I think the emphasis should have been, why and what are the implications, not the facts. And that's what I have to deal with all the time. As you guys do. When I send out my, and I'm kind of a journalistic idiot. I play one on TV. But when I send out my 15 to watch, I don't just say on a Monday, here are the facts, because by Wednesday or Friday, nobody wants to know that. They want to hear what are the implications, what's the future about, and what are we going to do about it.
And Rick, and your notes are always great. Rick, were you in Munich in '72?
No, I was not. But 50 years ago, I really kind of defined the whole business of sports.
Sure did.
Business, many
sure
say.
Did.
And
breaking news.
Sports history, talk about that as one of the big events. No, but
they put Peter Jennings on the air from there, and it was maybe the most compelling 20th century TV moment when Jim McKay said they're all gone.
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
Yeah,
I understand. So,
I wonder if, because of the way we broadcast things now and all the other little toys that we use to get our information, if that will decrease the value of rights fees that a television network has to pay the IOC.
No, I think what will happen is, especially Beijing. I mean, it's already been negotiated, but remember, that's basically the same time zone. We'll have the same issue on the winter side in 6 months. But there's got to be a different way to count. And the counting has to include total eyeballs all day. And you shouldn't discount 4:30 a.m. eyeballs because they're not prime time eyeballs. They may be a little bloodshot, may have some vodka in them, but they're the same number of eyeballs.
All right, last thing for you, right up your alley. You love golf just like we love golf. Should the Olympics, the way they hold their golf tournament, be more team-oriented, or do you like it the way it is, just like a PGA Tour event?
Well, I don't know yet. I know Justin Rose won last time, and everybody's talking about it. I think there ought to be something special, and I don't know exactly what that is. It's the worst answer possible because, I don't like 100% of what it is today, but I don't have a better answer. Run like a normal event, a golf tournament. I know they kind of guarantee that it's safe and all that, but I'm looking for something more. I think there needs to be a cage match. Get a couple of countries together, don't like each other, and do a Koepka and DeChambeau. Just beat the hell out of each other.
There you go. Unfortunately, they're on the same side, but we'll find somebody else to hate.
Why do you have to just dump on me with facts? Just leave me alone. Let me do what I want to do.
All right, we'll let you go right now after that. Thank you, Rick.
You guys enjoy the weekend. I'll see you next week.
You got it. That is terrific. That is our professor from Harvard and the NBC family of stations. He is Rick Horo. He's brought to you in part by the good folks at Conway. Are you an HVAC installer? You know how to deliver great customer service, but maybe you're running ductwork in new homes every day. Stop the running. It's time to join the Conway Services team. Conway offers really, really wonderful benefits like health insurance, holiday pay, paid time off, 401k, and there's a lot more. Conway Services installers, by the way, get to play with the greatest new toys. I mean, they got the newest tools, trucks, equipment, all state-of-the-art in the industry, and that makes it easier to deliver that great customer service. And by the way, Conway's never laid off an HVAC installer, so if you're drug-free, you got a clean criminal background and a good driving record, I think you need to call 384-3511. Talk to our guys. If you're a premier installer, you should be working for a premier service company. Do your family a favor. Call Conway. Here's the number again, 384-3511, or go to the website, conwayservices.net. Let's take a quick break. We'll put a wrap on hour number 2 here on this hot Wednesday on Sports Time on Sports 56.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays, only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Magic in Memphis. Excellence delivered. Where the world comes to showdown. To be the king of Grind City. Today's stars, tomorrow's legends. Taking care of business. Compete to conquer the world. Don't miss the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational, August 5th through 8th. For more information, visit WGCFedEx.com.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Golf enthusiast, looking for new golf greens? Got it. New and exciting Cypress View Golf and Recreation, just over the Mississippi River in Marion, Arkansas. Cypress View Golf and Recreation, absolutely gorgeous. Your first tee, you're looking at cypress trees a mile long in between a small lake. Give it your best shot. Feel like you're on vacation. Located just over the bridge at 303 Club Circle in Marion, Arkansas. It's the new semi-private pro golf club. Cypress View Golf and Recreation has a new golf pub with tons of new food items for breakfast and lunch. Choose from Philly cheesesteak sandwich, homemade fresh hand-patted burgers, and Nathan's hot dogs, flatbreads, quesadillas, summer salads, and more. Take advantage of Cypress View Golf and Recreation's new membership for unlimited golf, 7 days a week, only $199 plus tax. Call Pro Mark today at 870-739-6305 at Cypress View Golf and Recreation.
Is there a room in your house that never seems to cool or heat the way you think it should? Then a Mitsubishi ductless system may be a solution for you. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Ductless systems are relatively new to the United States, but Mitsubishi ductless systems are a proven energy saver because the system does not have any ductwork, so it can blow colder air in the summer and warmer air in the winter. Mitsubishi's inverter-driven compressors automatically adjust to your cooling or heating demands to deliver ideal comfort while only using the energy that is needed. No more, no less. Do you have a bonus room, sunroom, or master bedroom that never cools right? Maybe a new addition to your home or a garage you want heated or cooled. Now you can do it efficiently. Call Choates today at 755-4797 or visit our website at choateshvac.com to schedule your free estimate. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Cruising through our Wednesday afternoon. This story just breaking, not a good one, though. Game between the Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies in Philly has been postponed. Washington dealing with a COVID-19 outbreak, according to Jeff Passan from ESPN. Multiple players and coaches tested positive Wednesday. I have no idea if there's symptoms involved. This comes a day after Nationals all-star shortstop Trey Turner was pulled in the first inning after he had gotten a returned positive test. So,
yeah, a lot of people thought he got pulled because he might be in a deal.
Right,
as the Nationals have said, everybody but Juan Soto is up for grabs. Trey Turner would be a good get for somebody.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you got to really judge before the trade deadline is, if you get a player and he's got to be quarantined for the next week. I mean, there's not a lot of there's a lot of baseball left to play, but you don't want to miss a week with a guy you just dealt for.
That is true, and that is what everybody thought yesterday when they sat him down. Nobody was
sure
saying
did.
It was a positive test till today, when the whole team now has to postpone a game. So we'll keep our eye on that one. This just came out too a little bit ago. The Grizzlies don't have a roster quite yet, nor have they named their coach, but they have announced their schedule for the 4 games they're going to play in the Las Vegas Summer League starting a week from Monday, the 9th of August. They'll play the Brooklyn Nets when we're on the air. They are playing that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That game's on ESPN2. They'll play the Miami Heat same time on Wednesday on NBA TV. Then on Friday they'll play Sacramento. That'll be a game that is going to tip off at 8 o'clock Memphis time on ESPNU. Then Sunday, 9 o'clock, they'll play the Chicago Bulls.
Do you know who will be the star of that team?
Of the Grizzlies or of
the Grizzlies?
Well,
whoever name gets called tomorrow night.
Could be Giddey. We could be Giddey over Giddey.
We could be Giddey for it. We could be wanting Moses to part the seas.
Yes.
It could be a lot of different storylines.
Oh, I like that line, yeah. It's too bad he's not playing in the pyramid. That would have really actually worked better.
Would have been apropos, wouldn't
it?
Oh, Moses
would have been great. That's
when I think of Moses,
water under the bridge, you could say.
I think it's Charlton Heston, don't you?
Yeah, there you go. I think it's wild that they give you the schedule before they name your roster, but you're right. They're waiting for the rookies. They're gonna
time
grab.
Waits for no man, and it's moving fast. And we're about to have the great reset to normal schedules, when we get through these Olympics and we're through the NBA and we started NFL training camp, we'll start August camp for colleges. I think we're about to have the reset, the NBA schedule out for next year. It will start on Tuesday night, October 19th, Game 7 of the NBA Finals in June.
In June? Really? In June.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Just like old
Just like
times,
the old
like
days.
normal.
Yeah.
Do you remember normal?
I don't. I don't.
I don't either.
I am curious, reading everywhere that I can, national stuff and everything else. The consensus opinion, Brett, is the Grizzlies are not done. Before tomorrow night,
Sure
what time does that
feels
thing
like it.
start? Is it 7?
6:30.
6:30. Before tomorrow night at 6:30, there could be a deal where the Grizzlies move up. I don't know who they have absolutely
I love
in
it.
mind, but you got to believe Zach Kleiman has a guy in mind. He's done this every time. He's identified, he's gone after, he's gotten. And
He
they've
has.
been pretty good. From getting Bain this past year, Brandon Clark the year before that, making moves to get up to get the guys they identified. Unless Giddey's the guy and they want him at 10, is there another move? And is there a guy that they think is a for sure? We'll find out in the next 24 hours. That is for certain. We'll talk more about the NBA, maybe even that very topic, with Brian Geltzeiler. He'll join us in just a minute. The NBA is front and center when we begin hour number 3.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Demand for unskilled workers is sky high, but who wants that life? There's demand for hundreds of thousands of IT and cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. My Computer Career is training people to meet it. Get skilled. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Through July, grants are covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
All things on the NBA next with Brian Geltzeiler. Not a better person out there to talk NBA with than Brian. He comes to you next after I tell you about the title sponsor of this hour. That's DeSoto Auto Sales. Down in DeSoto County, very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. They are at 5704 Goodman Road. They are online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Go online and check out the referrals and look at the beautiful cars they have on Goodman Road. You can call them at 662-890-7184. All the cars test-driven, thoroughly checked out, bumper to bumper, head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model, and they have the cars. And it's hard to say these days, but they have the cars at DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts taken. They treat you like family by kind, courteous employees that care about your time and want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience, because they know we live in a world today that time really matters. And that's why you walk in and within 45 minutes, test drive your car, get credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're out of there in 45 minutes. It's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales. They keep it simple, and they do it for a reason. They know we live in a busy world, and they know your time is precious. They're at 5704 Goodman Road, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
We love the opportunities that we get to chat with our friend in New York City. From hoopscritic.com, Brian Geltzeiler joins us now, and it's here. In about, 25 and a half hours, we will have the NBA draft. Everything has been quiet for the most part, except Memphis, which has made a move. How many moves do you think we see in the next 24 hours before the draft, and how many moves during the draft, Brian?
Well, we see a lot. We normally do. I mean, there's going to be a good amount. Now, listen, I thought we probably would have seen more before the draft than we've seen up till now, but I do think there's a little bottleneck going on. I think teams are waiting to find out if between now and when the draft begins tomorrow night, if Bradley Beal is going to be made available. And you know, what I think the Wizards have kind of done here with him and a trade request is a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And don't get me wrong, I think the Wizards can certainly trade him once free agency begins. I think that's, you know, they have plenty of time to do that. But when it comes to getting draft capital, I think the market's a little more wide open, even if they don't necessarily have the time element coming and doing it this week. And ultimately what the Wizards have done here, throwing Russell Westbrook's name and shopping that out there somewhat publicly, I think sends a message to Beal. And then again, Beal very much wanted them to hire Sam Cassell as the head coach. Used to be an assistant in Washington. Bradley's got a relationship. They made a very good choice in Wes Unseld Jr., but I think Bradley Beal feels a little forsaken, somewhat Aaron Rodgers style here, and not necessarily being consulted on how all that went down. Keeping in mind that Beal, with 1 year left on a deal and an option the year after, is probably will not have more value to the Wizards than he has right now. So for them, if he's not going to stay long term, and I don't know that they can compete for a title with this group without really building it up, and it's going to take 2 or 3 more years, and he's 28. The time is probably now for that. And I think that was a long way of telling you guys that's probably holding up what we would normally see with more activity this week.
Brian, we love the wheeling and dealing that the Grizzlies front office, led by Zach Kleiman, that they are doing. Even with the move of a player that was so much fun in a brief period to watch play, Jonas Valanciunas, just outstanding player. Hey, I mean, when you put his name on the lineup card, he brought 17 and 15 just by writing his name in. But they recognize that you're probably not going to be in anything that matters with him in the future. And Toronto recognized it by moving him out in a championship year. We love the front office parlor intrigue, and fans like just doing something. But there also could be real repercussion, real reprisal if it doesn't go well.
Well, that's true. And let's defend Jonas Valanciunas for a minute, all right? Listen, JV was moved out by Toronto primarily because they had an opportunity to bring in Marc Gasol, who they thought could put them over the hump to win a title, who at the time, not anymore, but at the time was a better player than Valanciunas. And in all fairness to the Raptors, he did, and that helped them win a championship. I think in this case, JV played very well for the Grizzlies. And I think you have to give him all the credit in the world. He's a really good player. And where the Raptors had concerns with JV was who he was defensively. And I think we saw that he was better defensively than they gave him credit for being.
Yep.
I think the issue with him and the Grizzlies is that him and Jaren Jackson are a clunky fit together. I like the Grizzlies the way they look better with Jackson on the floor instead of Valanciunas as opposed to both of them. And I thought they were better with one of them on the floor. Two together in the way the league is trending is tough. It's tough to be able to have two guys that way. I know Jackson has a lot of perimeter skills, but you still want Jackson to have space to operate in the paint. That's going to be him at his strongest. So I think this is a very good Grizzlies front office, as you said, Brett. I think they recognize that at a pretty early stage here and realized Valanciunas $14 million left on his deal. This was a way to move up in the draft to get potentially a guy they want. From what I understand, the Grizzlies are not necessarily done here. They want to see if they can attach a couple of players to 10, see how high they can move up. They have guys they have their sights set on in this draft. So I think, to me, they're not done, but I think they made a very good move in doing what they had to do. I know Bledsoe probably won't suit up for them. That's okay. With that said, you move up in a draft where you really like people and you're kind of at a point where you're one or two players away from having this team really elevate itself. This is a time to make that kind of move.
Who do you think they have in their sights? How high do they have to go to get them?
Well, all right. So I'll say this. I think that the first tier guy they had in their sights from this deal, with the assumption they can't make another deal, I think is definitely Josh Giddey out of Australia, who I would love, who's a ball-handling 6'8" guy, who has incredible instincts, defends well, has a little Joe Ingles in him, but needs to probably learn how to shoot the ball a little bit better. But with that said, I think he fit very well in Memphis.
And he's only 18.
And he's only 18. In terms of moving up higher, the two guys I look at for them are James Bouknight out of Connecticut, who is a guy that can get his own shot. And I know that scouts around the league and personnel execs are really taken with his ability to get his own shot. Now, again, wasn't the best shooter last year for UConn, but there's a good shooter in there somewhere, and he's loaded with athleticism. The other guy, and I can't for the life of me, I can't understand why a talent like this kid is dropping, because in many other years, to me, he could be the number one overall pick. Jonathan Kuminga out of the G League Ignite team.
Right.
To me, this is 6'8", exactly the kind of 4-3 combo guy, stretch 4 wing that you want. I know he didn't shoot it well last year. I get that. But this guy's got shot-making ability and athleticism that you can't quantify. And he's young, man. The kid's 19 years old. He's got all the potential in the world. And 10, he was playing last year in the G League against grown men. In a lot of ways tougher than college basketball. And very early on, he showed himself well. He didn't finish strong. But come on, you got to cut him a break. He was 18 years old.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're up against here. To me, it's got to be one of those two guys that the Grizzlies want to move up to be able to get here if they're going to move from 10. But I will also tell you this. They didn't trade it to 10 if they weren't content to the point of being very happy with Josh Giddey.
If you move up anymore, you're not moving up. If you move from 10 to 7 or even better than that, you're probably not moving for Giddey. You're not moving for Moody. You're moving for that really elite class. And this draft, it's deep, isn't it, Brian?
It is. There's plenty of depth in this draft. And listen, it's an interesting kind of draft because you have depth, Brett, and then you have a lot of high-end talent. I mean, you have probably – you could make the case for 4 to 5 guys in this draft, certainly 4. That would be number 1 in most other years. So you have a ton of high-end talent. And then, yes, it does run deep. It does run deep. Here's an athlete like Keon Johnson. And granted, he's got his shooting issues, but Keon Johnson's a very athletic player. He's going to end up, they're looking at him in the second half of the first round. This kid, Dasumu, the guard from Illinois, who was excellent this year for them. They're looking at him late first round. That kid's 6'5" with quickness and can stroke it. Like, to me, you get him in the late first round, that's a major contributor for you. So, listen, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of players in this draft. One guy that's one of my favorites in this draft, and I think is going to be a major contributor from the jump, is Davion Mitchell out of Baylor, who really, he did a great job last year in the NCAA tournament. Yep. But we hear the term two-way guard all the time. This is a guy who will play lead guard for you. He will play off the guard. He's only 6'1", but he is very strong, and he can defend guys that are much bigger. And so I think Davion Mitchell, to me, is a guy that's going to really contribute immediately. Listen, one thing's interesting about this draft. more than you've had in prior years, you have these 21 and 22-year-olds, older players that teams are really locking in on here. Chris Duarte from Oregon's another one. That teams are just really locking in hard on being able to get guys that can come in and contribute immediately, which is definitely a little bit of a philosophy shift in what we've seen in recent NBA drafts.
That is interesting because that was the original target at 17 was Duarte. That's at least we were all speculating on that.
I don't think he's going to be there at 17.
No.
I don't think Golden State lets him slide at 14 from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
And then I think the Knicks are trying to package their 2 picks to be able to move up and see if they can get Duarte in a pick above 14. But I'm not sure how much luck they're getting with those 2 picks at 19 and 21 to be able to move up. So there's a lot of demand for him, and in those situations, you could actually see him find a way into the top 10.
When you bring up all these names, I mean, look, at the top, it's Cade Cunningham. Everybody thinks so. Jalen Green is going to be next. You're talking about a guy like Davion Mitchell, who was brilliant in the NCAA tournament. He's past probably, 10, 12, wherever he is in there. You got a guy like Charles Bassey from Western Kentucky. He's now in the second round. The kid that went to Texas, Greg Brown, he's way late in the second round. This seems to me to be one of the better drafts that we've had in a few years.
Oh, no doubt. You got other kids. You got, what's his name, the Jones kid from Alabama, who's going to end up, who is a guy, he's an older player, but he's a 3D guy. Second he steps in the league, he's going to end up going in the second round. A guy I like in the second round is kid Isaiah Livers that played for Michigan, who was the best player at Michigan. I mean, people are going bananas over Franz Wagner in the first round. To me, you got to be a really good defensive player if somebody's going to draft you in the top 10 here, and you're a guy that's considered a 3D guy, and you shot 32% from 3 in your college career. And I know Wagner can defend, but you better be Tony Allen, dude, if you're going to shoot 32% from 3. And I don't think Franz Wagner's that. So I look at a kid like Livers, who was the best player in that team, who they didn't get as far as maybe they could have in the tournament because he was hurt, as a 4-3 combo type who can play inside, can stroke it a little bit. That's a kid I like a lot. You may have a tough time fitting him in defensively, but they said the same thing about Draymond Green. And that just ends up being one of the better players in the history, one of the better defensive players in the history of sport. So it's, you can work with the right kind of guy, but you're absolutely right. You got a lot of very good talent sliding into the second round here. It's an excellent, excellent draft, which also makes what the Grizzlies did with this Bledsoe Adams deal better because, moving up from 51 to 40 is not insignificant either, guys, in a draft where you may have 5 to 10 guys that are first-round talents pushed into the second round.
Great point. Brian Geltzeiler with us. He's on Twitter at HoopsCritic, and you can follow him there, founder of HoopsCritic.com. He hosts on SiriusXM NBA Radio. He contributes at NBA TV. What does your day look like tomorrow, and what is the nuclear bomb of potential deals that could go off before the draft begins?
Well, all right. Now, my day tomorrow will obviously be hectic. I'll be doing some radio hits like this. Some stuff going on with SiriusXM as well. And then I'm going to be watching the draft like the rest of us. I'm not at the draft for the first time in probably about 10 years tomorrow, but, we're very limited in who we send and what we do there for obvious reasons in this day and age. So I'll be watching the draft just like you guys. Listen, the bomb that could go off is what I said earlier. Bradley Beal could be that bomb that goes off. And I think if you see that one happen, a lot of other stuff's going to fall into place pretty quickly. The team to watch coming into tomorrow night is absolutely the Golden State Warriors, who are sitting at 7-14, who don't want 7-14. They're getting pressure from their players that have won championships there, from their 3-star players, Curry and Thompson and Green, to go get them help out there in the open market, to go get somebody that's going to help their chances of winning a championship. And let's face it, you can definitely, at 7-14, get a couple of really good guys that are going to certainly help you go forward in the future. They're also sitting on James Wiseman as an asset. You can do that, but by the same token, how much are those guys going to help you while Curry, Thompson, and Green still have prime years to go? And in the end, what you don't want to do is make the kind of deal where we're going to make a deal that's going to help us more now and leave a great player out there for the future. Like if you're the Warriors and you're at number 7 and Jonathan Kuminga staring you in the face, it's irresponsible not to take him. It's irresponsible to take a guy that you think will help more now and to let a talent like Kuminga sit there when you have James Wiseman on your roster, and that builds you a future right then and there. More than that, if Kuminga pans out a little bit, then you have a major trade asset in your hip pocket. You can go get somebody. Keep in mind, and they still have that big salary with Andrew Wiggins that they're one further year into, and he had a really good year for them last year. And there's teams that would take a shot with Wiggins with the right draft capital attached, would freeze the Warriors up to add a major salary.
Why is Wiseman considered an expendable asset? He didn't have much of a sample size. He's only, is he 20 years old yet? I don't think he's even 20. Why does there seem to be so much doubt about him?
I think, first of all, they played better without him, and I think that too much is being made of that. I think James Wiseman's an incredible talent, and I think you have many, many teams around the league that believe that. I think the Warriors believe that. I just don't know that when you have the core that they have right now, if they have the patience to do what's needed to be done to bring him along. Wiseman is a wonderfully talented player. He's still a bit of a project that needs some work, and that's only based upon reps. He just hasn't had enough reps at any significant level, from 3 college games into being banged up in what was a fractured NBA season. He just hasn't had enough reps. But believe me, teams are lining up to get him on the cheap. Teams will be all over being able to get James Wiseman on the cheap. So listen, I hear what you're saying. I think expendable is probably too strong a word. The Warriors certainly do value him, but also I think, listen, Steve Kerr didn't handle him all that well last year, and I think there's worries on Wiseman's side and worries on Kerr's side that they're going to be able to have the right kind of productive relationship to let him develop. And again, with them having short-term goals here as opposed to long-term, that's why he's a guy that for the right package, for the right star player to add for this group, they would certainly, put him in a deal.
So let's say the Bradley Beal bomb hits. What is it going to be, and then what are the next 1 or 2 dominoes that will fall that we'll all be intrigued by?
Well, listen, I think if Beal understands something about the Beal situation, if Beal goes, then Westbrook goes too. And listen, and I think that's a smart thing for the Wizards. I don't know. Last year, was a fractured year, hard year. With that said, did the Wizards show you that they were anywhere close to advancing further in the playoffs than being a one and done? I didn't think so. No. And I don't think they think so. So to me, that's the team, another team to watch here, because it doesn't pay to keep one. If you're going to keep, they're only going to help you be less bad. And the truth of the matter is, if you can get some youth, like I know the Lakers are very interested in Westbrook, and bringing in Schroeder and Kuzma is not a bad thing. You got to, 27 and 25 and kind of reload this thing with some younger pieces here. And if you do that for Westbrook and you're able to get a king's ransom for Beal, Wiseman the 7 and the 14, something like that, and a future one beyond that. And all of a sudden you look at it and you've reloaded quite nicely and they have a chance to really do something in the future. So to me, I think the Beal Westbrook thing is something to watch. I don't think Damian Lillard's going to end up having his name come up in conversation. There's other guys that I know where names are being bandied about. Malcolm Brogdon, Kristaps Porzingis is another one whose name certainly is out there. You could certainly see that happen. And I've heard some rumblings regarding Brandon Ingram as being a guy if they could get the right package. I know Portland's been active in talking about C.J. McCollum, but they need C.J. McCollum to net players, not picks. They need C.J. McCollum to come back with an upgrade. And him at 29, I don't know if you get that for him. And then the other guy, of course, is Ben Simmons. And Woj had that report today, Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, that Philly's actively listening to offers on Ben Simmons, but the price tag's very high. But the good part there, I guess, for Philly and for Simmons, is that Simmons rep Rich Paul is more than willing to work with the Sixers to make a deal like this happen.
I hear Ben Simmons, and I just wonder, would you really spend a lot? If you're a team, would you give up much for Ben Simmons? Because I understand how good defensively he is, but the offensive flaws and the free throw shooting, would you really give up a lot for him?
Depends who I am. And I say that in this reason. If you're bringing Ben Simmons into your team because you want him to play point guard for you, that's, at this point, a very foolish thing to do. If you're bringing in Ben Simmons because you're settled at the point guard position and you're looking for a point forward, to a guy to play at the low post, a guy to play at the elbow, a guy to get rebounds and get your team out in transition, all of that stuff, Ben Simmons can be terrific. Ben Simmons went through some major struggles at the end of the year, and the biggest problem Ben Simmons has had is most of his career no one's ever said no to him, and that goes back to his time in high school and LSU. The reality is he wants to tell everybody he's a point guard. Dude, you're not a point guard. You're not. You're a point forward. And the second somebody places him at point forward, the second he becomes an all-NBA guy again. I truly believe that. I think that the world got way too down on Ben Simmons, and most of the people I speak to around the league agree with me. Ben Simmons has tremendous trade value out there, and Daryl Morey will keep him and work with him before he gives him away. They're not going to give him away, but I think that he's had enough conversations, and from what I understand, he has out there to realize that the value for Simmons that Morey thinks he can get is out there for somebody to step up with. Offers have gotten close enough for that. So I think you're going to see Ben Simmons go somewhere for a major package. Wouldn't surprise me if it's Portland and a McCollum deal. That's something that I think may match up okay. So you got to keep an eye on that. Wouldn't surprise me if somehow, through some roundabout way, a three-way trade, he ended up at a place like Dallas. I know that things have cooled kind of on the Miami front. Wouldn't surprise me if he ended up there as well. I think Simmons is going to be on the move here. Toronto, there's been a big rumor with involving a Larry sign and trade. I'm telling you, teams are willing to step up.
All right. Brian, as always, it's a pleasure chatting with you. We get such great insight. Thank you very much. Time for us to get an update on the summer games.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2020 Summer Games, sponsored by Hulu. Time to have great original shows and movies. Time to have Hulu Originals. The women's gymnastics all-around final gets underway early tomorrow morning, but will do so without Simone Biles. USA Gymnastics released a statement earlier today announcing that Biles will not compete in the event and will be replaced by Jade Carey, who had the 9th highest score in qualifying. The statement did not address Biles' future as far as her participation in the apparatus finals, outside of saying that her mental health is being evaluated daily. And round one of the men's golf competition will be underway shortly with plenty of familiar names on the course. Masters champ Hideki Matsuyama will represent the host nation, while the U.S. contingent consists of reigning British Open champion and two-time major winner Colin Morikawa, 2018 Masters champ Patrick Reed, 2017 PGA winner Justin Thomas, as well as Xander Schauffele. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Summer of Soul, The Handmaid's Tale, Pen 15, 9 Perfect Strangers. There's no time. You need to watch Hulu Originals now. Original shows and movies really good. Lot good. You watch now. No time for grammar. Have to watch Hulu Originals.
I'm coming home, baby, now. I'm coming home now right away.
When you have to watch, you have to watch. Time to have Hulu Originals.
Hulu subscription required. Visit hulu.com for plan details.
I'm coming home, baby, now.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, golf, or real estate, having the winning coach makes all the difference in your success. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and I'm with Coach Terry Tippett, winner of 6 state basketball championships. Coach, what's been the secret to your and your team's successes?
Sheldon, there's no one secret. It becomes a pattern of success after coaching for so many years and learning the ins and outs of the game and the players. A lot like the pattern of your success in selling homes.
Thanks, Coach. Like you and your program, I developed my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option, and I also tried to use it in my golf game.
Sheldon, tried is the optimum word. You better stick to selling homes, as you're always hitting holes in one at that, instead of double bogeys.
Thanks a lot. And if anyone is thinking of selling their home, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 coaches. I mean real estate brokers. Let me be one of them. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com and be a winner.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Magic in Memphis. Excellence delivered. Where the world comes to showdown. To be the king of Grind City. Today's stars, tomorrow's legends. Taking care of business. Compete to conquer the world. Don't miss the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. August 5th through 8th. For more information, visit WGCFedEx.com.
It's time to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. Get up and go in a 2021 Kia Rio 41 MPG Highway 0% and $239 a month. 2021 Kia Forte 0% and $268 a month. And get all-weather rugged and ready in 2022 Seltos $334 a month. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get top dollar for your Kia trade today and trade up at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop online 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J and he'll put you in a new Kia today. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio Forte 60 months at 0%. Rio ME 403.610. MSRP 17,315. Forte ME 379,469. MSRP 19,040. Seltos N 724 718 166 months at 1.9%. MSRP 24,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. DF 695 must finance with KMF or low APR. Excludes tax file and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/2/2021. Dealer stock only.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We welcome you back in as we cruise through our final hour here on this scorching Wednesday afternoon. Some scorching news breaking here. You could say poison pen letter has been written by the Big 12. We get into that in a second. I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. Also, the home for Genesis of Olive Branch. That's right there. Highway 78 and Craft Road. 15 minutes away, you get on Lamar, it becomes Highway 78 or I-22. You make that left turn when you get to Craft Road, exit 1. There you'll see the way car business absolutely positively should be done. You've got a crew that's been together 14 years. They have seen it all. Pandemic. They've seen very few cars on the lot. They've seen so many cars, they got to really move them. They've seen high interest rates. They've seen great interest rates. They've seen it all. And they continue to work together. Finance, sales, maintenance, they've done it all. They're terrific. They're led by Chris True. He's got a theory. It's about serving you. He wants to take care of you. That's why every new car, whether it's a Hyundai or a Genesis, you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package. They'll take care of you. They'll change your oil. They'll rotate your tires. They'll tighten your belts. Whatever it takes to make sure your car is running at peak efficiency. And that's why they last forever. And they do. In fact, every new car gets a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. So, folks, if you want to see the way car business should be done, please go see my friends, Chris True and all that gang that have been together so long at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. So today, a commissioner that absolutely not the guy that I think is the best commissioner that is out there, but nonetheless, it is Bob Bowlesby from the Big 12. And he wrote a letter to ESPN It is addressed to Burke Magnus, who is the president of programming and original content. And as I try to get this thing big enough for me to read, it basically says, Dear Burke, it has come to my attention that ESPN, the current business partner of the Big 12 Conference, has taken certain actions that are intended to not only harm the Big 12 Conference, but to result in financial benefits for ESPN. Setting aside ESPN's potential involvement in the most recent announcement by the University of Texas and the University of Oklahoma that they intend to leave the Big 12 Conference in 2025, as to which we reserve all legal rights, I am aware that ESPN has also been actively engaged in discussions with at least one other conference regarding that conference introducing additional members of the in the Big 12 to leave the Big 12 Conference. So he's basically saying right there, you helped steal Texas and Oklahoma, and now
you drove the getaway car.
And you're trying to send more of our members away.
Did you check out that signature from Bob Bowlesby?
Yeah, I did.
Have you seen that?
I did.
Maybe the most pretentious signature since John Hancock or Barack Obama.
It's actually worse than mine, and mine's bad.
There's no way when he was 25 and he signed a signature card at a bank for a checking account, he signed like that.
You're right.
There's no way. He had to work on that as Hancock and Obama did as well, because it's just too pretentious. You just don't do that. But serious accusation at ESPN, and that's when you know your conference is out of business. When you break the deal with when you break the covenant with ESPN, you're done.
It also says there's a threat at the end here. The Big 12 Conference demands that ESPN immediately cease and desist all actions that may harm the conference and its members. Wow. I mean,
you know what the lawyers just said? Like Cornbread Maxwell used to say, Father Time remains undefeated.
Yeah.
Billable hours remain undefeated too.
That is for sure. Those lawyers are saying, bring it on. Bryant, you've got an addendum here?
Yeah, so I have something to add. Bowlesby talked to the AP following this whole letter coming out, and he said that he believes that Texas and Oklahoma have been planning this for months, which we all obviously know, and that they were a part of Big 12 strategy meetings where priority information was being shared, and he said this whole thing has been a complete articulation of deception. And he's also saying that ESPN is incentivizing other conferences to basically go after Big 12 teams so that Oklahoma and Texas don't have to pay their buyout to the conference.
Wow. Double knot spies.
Man. So they helped steal them. Now they're going to steal more so that Oklahoma and Texas don't have to pay Bob Bowlesby any more money. These are some heavy allegations.
Which we want the Big 12 to collapse, don't we? Locally for the Tigers?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you're going to get it.
There is no question that it benefits the University of Memphis and the American Athletic Conference. If the Big 12 is out of business and you get some of theirs, you become the fifth.
The Big American with Oresco running it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll guarantee you what business you think Bob Bowlesby will go into, Dave.
He'll become a consultant for somebody.
Of course he will.
Yeah.
Of course he will.
Who was it that said earlier that was talking about the CBS window that would be open at 2:30?
TJ.
TJ. And Mike, that was right on, because Mike Oresco is a television executive, and he did spend some time at CBS.
Sure did.
And there is a window there if you've got enough. I mean, the one thing is you could stand to lose one or two. I mean, you could lose Cincinnati to the ACC. I could see that happening, making West Virginia sort of a travel partner with them. They're not that far away. I mean, but if you lose one, but you gain 2 or 3 from the Big 12, maybe you're able to get Boise or BYU into the mix. And if you get the television money right, and there will be, $36 million a team the Big 12 gets right now. If you get some of that money to go with what you've got now, it really does benefit the American and the University of Memphis to see the Big 12 go away. And that letter seems to be a
good way to collapse it.
A desperate I'm not sure. It's almost like suicide, but a desperate attempt at something by Bob Bowlesby.
It was a Hail Mary for sure. I've been told if it goes according to plan, Texas, OU, and the SEC will have statements and joint pressers on Friday.
Wow.
But that the number 16 is still evolving. There could be more with names like Clemson, North Carolina at the top of the pack, and Miami and FSU also involved.
Well,
presser Friday at 10 as of right now.
I will say this flat out. What's happened now can be okay for all of college football, all of college athletics, let me put it that way. To go any further, to take North Carolina and Clemson away from the ACC basically cripples that conference. I don't think Notre Dame wants to then be a big part of that in a full.
But what if they went to the Big Ten?
Full-fledged way? What if
any conference would take Notre Dame?
Oh yeah.
But Dave, you say taken away, and I know where you come from. I think 16's enough. I thought 14 was enough. I think 16's plenty, and might be the good stopping point. But what if those other universities, those schools, those teams are saying we want to leave? We want out of here.
That could be. And I'm not saying to you that if I'm the SEC, if I'm Greg Sankey, I'm going to turn these people down. I'm just saying to you, as a guy who's watched college athletics since 1975 in some form or fashion in the media, that I can't imagine that it is good for college athletics for one conference to have all. I mean, because that's it. They become college athletics.
It would be them and really everybody else. I'm not saying that's good either, but didn't everything, including last summer and the sandbag sabotage by the commissioner of the Big Ten toward the rest of college football when he was supposed to be working in concert, hand in glove. They had just met the day before, a unified front, and then he goes out there freelancing. And I asked Greg Sankey about that 8 days ago, a week ago yesterday.
Heard it,
yeah. And with that move and with the slowness of others to get it in gear for football last year, and with everything the NCAA has done, I think it was the SEC saying, we've seen enough, we're going to do this, and we're going to run it, and we can better.
Well, if they get North Carolina and Clemson away from the ACC.
Now here's some payback. Here's some
Dame
payback the NCAA can have. Here's some payback. Let's say all this goes on warp speed and it's next year. And I think it will be now that Texas and OU are playing next year, even 23. If they still control it. And with CBS not very pleased with how they've been done with SEC negotiations, come basketball time, that selection committee just sees fit to invite the champion from the SEC, and that's it. No more at-larges.
I don't see that happen.
What if they tried to?
I
mean, goodwill begets goodwill,
yeah.
And rough and tumble treatment begets sharp elbows.
But that committee is from schools from all over, and it is from conferences that are from all over. And I believe, and maybe I'm naive when I say this, but I think when that basketball tournament committee gets together, they're looking to try to make the best tournament that they possibly can. And I don't think they're going to allow pettiness or revenge or payback be the motivational factor. And we are seeing a revolution in college athletics. I hope it's a renaissance. We know it's a revolution. We are seeing the end of amateurism. We are seeing players as being, with the transfer portal, being free agents. We are seeing some attempt at the moment.
Player liberation.
I hope that continues, that we are seeing more inclusion, allowing there to be other players besides just the elite of the Power Five that get into the playoff. Whether somebody wins that is a different story, but at least they get a chance to be in the big party. And I want to see that trend continue. And I know we've got changes, but I just cannot imagine that you would take all the wealth and put it into one place and think that is going to be better for the whole entity, because I just don't think it will be. I'm not saying that's not the way it's going to go, because I can't control that. And as Ryan Silverfield has said the last couple of days in two different entities, all he can do is concentrate on what he can control and make the most of that. And if those schools all want to be a part of the SEC, and Greg Sankey sees all the benefit that it will come to his institutions, then so be it, and we'll all adjust from there. But as I look at this right now, I think it's really good for the SEC and okay right now if you hold at 16. But if you take Clemson and you take North Carolina, bell cow of the league in football, traditionally you could say North Carolina or Duke, either way you want to go, bell cow in hoops, you're stripping that conference of its main credibility. And that is not good for not only that conference, but I don't think for any kind of equality across the board.
I agree with
now
that.
You've only got 2 conferences, unless you raid the Big Ten, you only got 2 conferences of any note.
Well, you have this story. Now, Dennis Dodd just tweeted at 5:30, thank you, Gabe Kuhn, sent me that, Big 12 accusing the ESPN of conspiring with the American to take 3 to 5 teams to an AAC, a potential big American. His story is going to be up soon.
Love it.
He just tweeted that.
Wow.
So,
oh, my. So
Oresco's playing sharp elbows.
He is. And
you have to.
I will tell you, I made an attempt. You know this already. I don't think I've said this on the air. I made an attempt to secure Commissioner Oresco for this show early in the week. And I was told by Chuck Sullivan, who's their PR guy, that the commissioner is laying low and doing a lot of phone calling. But he's laying low to the media. He is going to address, it's either August 3rd or August 4th, the conference on their virtual media days, and that we would have access to him after that occurs. That was great. He also said, unless we have some news at the end of the week. So at the time,
SEC's got news Friday.
Exactly. At the time SEC press conferences are made, we might see if that, what did you say that is, 10 o'clock?
10 o'clock Friday morning.
10 o'clock
Joint
Friday
release.
morning. How about an 11 o'clock AAC?
I'm all for it.
Press conference. Wow.
I'm all for it, Dave.
Wow.
And Dave, to Bob Bowlesby's credit, I mean, I even took a shot at his signature.
Yeah.
To his credit, he's right. This just didn't happen out of the thin blue sky. I mean, you can call it, we'll call it what it is. They did conspire. Now, the SEC saying OU and Texas called us first. Whatever. Whoever called the other one first. But this just didn't happen starting last Tuesday night in Hoover.
No. And if you listen carefully to Craig Way yesterday, Texas and Oklahoma have been upset with Bob Bowlesby for a long time. Now, I'm not going to tell you that ESPN had nothing to do with any backdoor conversations about money or what it might bring if you were to join the SEC. But I don't think they went to Texas and Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma and Texas went to the SEC and went to ESPN to see what that value might be if they do business that way. And
Dave,
guess
I
what?
told you that OU's been waving a blank check around for years. We won't in. And former United States Senator, head of the Intelligence Committee, I think later head of the Central Intelligence even, David Boren, as president of OU, he after he resigned at OU, he made it clear. He goes, I don't feel like I really did my job. I didn't get us in the SEC.
Well, and you know, there have been so many decisions that have died at Bob Bowlesby's office. There was the embarrassment of what occurred when they were absolutely being proactive and they were going to expand. And if you listen to some of the stories that I heard, Memphis and Cincinnati were in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
That was done by Oklahoma too. The president of Oklahoma, that might have been David Boren. Was that?
I think so.
I think it was.
I think it was Senator Boren.
So and then Bowlesby either got enough got enough pressure from other schools or whatever, but he went back on the decision that was already a done deal. So
and turned his back.
That's how far back the mistrust that Oklahoma and Texas have with that commissioner. So there is no way, and he can sue all he wants to or whatever, there is no way that this was ESPN's idea to move Texas and Oklahoma. This was Texas and Oklahoma saying, we don't want anything to do with you, and we think we can make a lot more money. We're going to check on that, but we think we can make more money if we go play with the conference where it matters more.
Well said.
Crazy stuff. That is for certain. We got to take a break. We will have crunch time. We have covered this week. Brett, hey, can you remember a July day in our history? And I go back to doing radio shows, talk shows in this market in 83. You started in the early 90s, right?
Yep.
Can you remember a July week?
This ain't Mount Rushmore.
This ain't
college football countdown.
More stuff. I mean, this is just incredible.
It's been a whirlwind the last 8 days. You know I don't save most texts. I wish I had the last week because, I have had everything sent to me, some with some corroboration, some with legitimacy, some nuts.
Yeah.
Some I've gone on the air with, and a lot I haven't. But, any rumor you can think of concerning SEC and realignment, I've had sent to this itty-bitty phone.
Crazy. Just craziness. This portion of the show brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf. When you say golf in Memphis, any kind of new equipment, anything that might be an accessory, I'm talking a Bushnell or a GPS, anything that has to do with golf, we all go to get it at Edwin Watts. It's just that simple. Starts with Jay Hasselman and all the guys that are there. They have a passion for the game, and they love to share it with you. Now you take this newer store. It's not new anymore, but newish. It's twice the size of the one they used to have right there at I-40 in Poplar, I-240 in Poplar, in that really big shopping center. And it's easy to park, and you'll walk in, and you'll see how huge it is. 2 computer bays where you can get fitted for clubs, all the latest of fashions, all the latest in equipment, as I mentioned. TaylorMade changes. I think they change equipment every 3 months, it seems. Maybe it's not that much, but they do. They change it a lot. The folks at Edwin Watts always have the latest. We used to go to country clubs to give them our business, but now if you want the best price and the latest stuff, and most country clubs don't even have that kind of equipment in pro shops anymore. They say, go to Edwin Watts. So what are you waiting for? Oh, and by the way, prepare to spend some time there because you're going to know somebody who loves golf just like you. Edwin Watts, the place in Memphis for golf. We take our final time out. It is time for Taco Bell Crunch Time when we return.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981.9%, MSRP $20,685, Sportage in 79.79.540, 0% MSRP $26,060, K5 NGO 950.54.9%, MSRP $25,840, includes all rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Action247.com is your Tennessee sportsbook for same-day pay. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Win a little or win a lot. Action247 has same-day pay. The other guys make you wait for your winnings. No more waiting with Action247 same-day pay. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action247. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, that we hit fame. We beat you with the deal, we get in fame.
Welcome back in. Some of the texts I get from Brett during this show.
Be careful.
Oh, we showed those, we'd be in trouble.
No.
This portion of the show is just what the doctor ordered. It's Poppy's Pills, you know. When I say pills, you know I'm talking about Pilsner. This is the newest from Grind City. I think it's going to become their number one seller. I think it'll become their anchor, and they've got so many good things. I still love Tiger Tail, too. But I am sold on what the doctor ordered. Sometimes you come across a beer so smooth and crushable, it cures what ails you. You take 2 of these pills, and we guarantee you'll be calling for more. If you're a lighter beer fan, and I am, I love a Pilsner. I don't like the heavy ale. I love a Pilsner. This is 6 years in the making to get it perfect, and they have gotten it perfect, and I mean perfect for this kind of heat like tonight. If you grill outside, you want this. You want Poppy's Pills. If you have played golf, you want this. You want Poppy's Pills. If you've been at the pool, you want Poppy's Pills. It is terrific. And by the way, you can find it all over the place. Obviously, at the brewery in Uptown. You can now find it in all the spirit shops, and now you can get it in Kroger, too. Again, just what the doctor ordered, Poppy's Pills from Grind City Brewing. It's officially Taco Bell crunch time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello,
Boop! Choo-choo!
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
On 1, on 2, on 3. Hey!
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Learned today, golf balls in the air in Tokyo for the Olympics. In 2016, that was the first Summer Olympics to feature golf since 1904 in St. Louis. I hope we keep it in 2024 in Paris and in 2028 in Los Angeles. How hard went inside crunch time? Is that allowed?
Sure. Go ahead.
Where do you want Los Angeles Olympics to be played of these two courses? LA Country Club or famed Riviera?
Ooh. Well, nobody knows. They haven't seen LA Country Club, which is going to get a U.S. Open, but I've seen it. I'd like it right there. I don't know if the members would let it, but if it was Riviera, I'd be okay with that too. But I'd like it at LA Country Club. You?
I'm with you. I think more LACC the better.
Okay.
Beautiful. We see Riviera every year.
I already said, I learned today about hits on website. I couldn't believe it. GoTigersGo.com in the last 2 years, 9.6 million hits. That's amazing to me. And also, we didn't get to this. Novak Djokovic has made the quarterfinals. He's going to get the Golden Slam. But you know who he's got to face tonight? He's got to face Kai Nishikori. Do you remember Kai Nishikori?
Mr. Memphis.
2015, he won his third Memphis Open.
Delightful person, too.
Oh, yeah. And he's the hometown kid. He's the Japanese
Good story.
hero. So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I would rather him win in tennis than Hideki Matsuyama win in golf.
Not me. Not anymore. He's my man.
Could have done without this. Iran hadn't caught the United States in basketball. USA by 54 when they were a 33-point favorite. 54 is a good number. That's about as long as Iran will exist, 54 seconds, if they ever attack anybody in the neighborhood with a nuclear warhead. Perfect parallel.
There you go. I could have done without the Redbird streak coming to an end, but it was 15 games, for goodness sake. Can't win them all, and it was a good game, 1-0.
And to lose 1-0.
They were in it, yeah, no doubt about that. And also, the NCAA.
Takes one to win one. That's what my Pony League coach would always say.
Have you seen the NCAA said no to Reggie Bush on reversing penalties or vacated
won the
records?
Heisman. We watched it.
But unfortunately,
give him his trophy.
The Heisman is saying no return until the NCAA does that. So no Heisman return for Reggie, at least for right now. We'll see how all that plays out.
Come on, Heisman. He won it fair and square. You can't take our memories from us. And he
agree.
was Superman in those years.
Oh, he was.
Keeping a close eye tonight on golf from Japan. I will watch that all night and try to watch more of the Olympics. 1 week into the golf world will be in Memphis. Draft deals and rumors everywhere. NFL camp news. Most of that's vaccination percentages. Yankees at Rays tonight, only 13,000 last night at the Trop. Third worst crowd in baseball. They had 11,000 in Pittsburgh, 10,000 in Baltimore. I can understand those latter two.
Oh, you want to contract all those three. Just kick them out of the league.
Nah, I don't know if I really want to do that. That was crazy talk. Dodgers at Oracle late tonight. First place San Francisco. Look at this SEC matchup. Vanderbilt's Walker Buehler against Florida's Anthony DeSclafani. That's a good pitching matchup late tonight.
And you pronounced that so perfectly. I'm very proud of you.
I practiced. Just like I did Kasum Igaseki, the golf course in Tokyo.
I'm going to watch the NBC primetime, but I know exactly where the golf is, so I'm going to watch a whole bunch of that.
NBC owns it. It's a golf channel.
Exactly. This was really a fun show, delightful show. We thank all who participated. We're going to do it again, same time, same place tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
It's time to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. Get up and go in a 2021 Kia Rio 41 MPG Highway, 0% and $239 a month. 2021 Kia Forte, 0% and $268 a month. And get all-weather rugged and ready in 2022 Seltos, $334 a month. Plus, peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile